What I'm worried about most is just where we're sleeping, because normally when I go on trips, I book an Airbnb.
And that's all sorted.
It's all sorted.
That's the one thing that you get sorted before you go.
But we are going there with no accommodation, no nothing. We just got a flight to LA. That's what I'm worried about the most. I don't mind sleeping in the bush if I have to. Yeah. Yo, we just got a ride. Thank you, man. What's your name?
JP, man.
Bro, this shit is crazy. Thank you.
Coming to LA, coming to my city, you feel me?
Welcome to America.
That one's on as well. This mic is on. I think we're... Is that in? Yeah. I think we're good. Yeah, we're good to go, G. GoPro's on there. We've got the big camera there. Audio is on officially. I can see we've been on for like 20 seconds.
All right.
Oh, shit. Damn. First proper podcast.
Pretty
Here
crazy,
we go.
man.
Yeah.
Damn. All right, let's jump into it.
Let's just get straight to it. So, like, we literally just hitchhiked across America.
Crazy times, man. Crazy times. So
Bro,
many
like,
stories to tell.
Bro, like, that was the craziest trip ever. You probably just saw the trailer. We played it before this podcast started.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, let's just hop into, like, the early start. Like, hitting you up to figure out, like, why I wanted to do it and stuff.
Yeah,
And
man, that's a pretty funny story in itself. I mean, when you first hit me up, I remember I saw the message. You're like, hey, bro, like, I've got this idea. Because we'd only met, like, really once before.
Yeah, we legit only met once. He helped me out with a video. We installed a giant Teji inflatable in the Sydney.
Check that out, yeah.
In Circular Quay. That was crazy.
Stunt, man. Crazy stunt.
So we like met up. Let's talk about the first time we met up actually. Then we'll go from there because that's kind of good context.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I remember we just kind of like, you hit me up like, oh, so I'm trying to like do like some cool shit. I'd love to like have a meeting kind of thing. I was like, sick. Like, let's do it. Because I saw your page and you had like some dope art on there and shit.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this guy's sick. I'll go like link up with him, see what he's trying to do. Yeah, we met at like some cafe in Newtown. Yeah. And just like, I honestly wasn't expecting to see you when I walked in there, bro.
Really?
I don't know why. Like, I was just like, I wonder what this guy even looks like.
What did you think I was going to look like?
I didn't really have like an idea. But like when I saw it, I kind of like did a double take. I was like, wait, is this that Teji guy? I was like, that's crazy. Yeah. But then, yeah, man, it was cool. Like, you just kind of told me you wanted to like do this crazy stunt of like blowing up a giant kind of like character that you made. I'm like, this is sick. Like, I definitely want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'll take my phone there. Yeah, and then I feel like we linked up that first time. We did the shoot, got a couple other friends to come help out. That was a super fun. Ethan was there, Bailey.
Shout out.
Now, Bailey started up a YouTube channel now. Shout out to him.
Mr. Cannon?
Yeah, Mr.
Bro,
Cannon.
he's going hard with that shit. I saw he was doing like every single day he was creating art. It was crazy.
Bro, I love seeing people in like Sydney like trying to do stuff. That's why I always encourage like my friends and stuff to just try, have a go at something.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
And like me and Cannon or Bailey, we just filmed like a video on an island, did like a 24-hour challenge on there.
That's crazy.
It's funny as, but yeah. Then after we did the stunt, we pretty much met. We caught up like 3 times probably before we went to America.
2 or 3 times. That's it. Yeah, like probably legit 3 times. Hey.
Yeah.
And like we were just kind of just conversing over like social media or even just like texting, just kind of planning this whole thing out.
Yeah, I think we like linked up probably twice before he flew. Yeah. So I just booked us both tickets, and I was like, you know what? Actually, so before I asked Max, I hit a couple people. I was like, yo, would you want to come hitchhike across America with me, help me film and stuff? Every single person said no. Yeah. Every single person said no, except for Max. And I was like, I felt like it was the perfect person to come on the trip. Like the whole time, he was super fucking happy to be there. He was like, had a really positive attitude the whole time.
It's just like, that is a once in a lifetime experience. Like, okay, it's even a blessing to go to the States, but like to be doing some crazy stunt like that, just like getting there across just the kindness of random people. Yeah. It's like, no one really does that in Australia, let alone going to a different country and trying it.
Yeah, because I feel like you see a lot of like Americans doing it, and like we were talking about the other day, you see Americans, and from an Australian like viewpoint, it feels like it's not real. It kind of feels like the NPCs. Like, sorry, but like
it's sad to say, but it is kind of. It feels true, yeah, in a way.
It's just because like we grew up on like Australian media and like around Australian people. Our parents are like Australian. They sound like that. So going into America was just like, it felt like a playground almost. Right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Just like you don't really realize how different like people are in the States until you get there, and you're just like, where this is a whole different culture and like way of life, and it's funny. But yeah, like what I was gonna say before is when you first hit me up for the trip, I was kind of like, like I was unsure. I was like, that's kind of crazy. But then I was kind of just like sitting there for a bit. And I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? Life's short. Let's just try.
May as well go.
Let's just see what happens. You know.
Yeah. So we pretty much. I booked both of us flights to go there. I think we had to fly into Hawaii, then LA. So it took a while to get there. But before we left, we met up at a cafe, like the second meeting. Oh, I think it may be even the third meeting. But anyways, we met up at the cafe, and we went through all the stuff we needed. What did we go through that day? Remember we got like a hot chocolate or something?
We kind of just linked up to get like a hot chocolate and just like run through what we needed. And I don't even really think we understood what we needed. We were kind of just like, damn, do we need like, I don't know, basic things, just like first aid kit or like
I think we're figuring out gear and stuff,
gear like and all that.
Like we didn't really get gear until we got to LA, and that's kind of when we got like hammocks and stuff like that. But yeah,
pretty funny, man. We were kind of, we had like a basic checklist in mind, but we didn't really organize it until we landed and touched down. We're like, oh shit, like there's a few things we need to get, like water bottles, for example. The hammocks. Like,
the first guy we met, so before we went on the trip, I organized to catch up with a friend. His name is Vinforce. Shout out to V-Force, shout out to all his crew over there. Like, they were so nice. But anyways, so I met Vinforce at a UCLA garage rave, like last time I was in America, randomly, because one of my friends, Finn, put me on to like this event that was on in LA, and he checked that out, and I met this dude. He was like a rapper there, and then he was just like, I don't know, he talked on Instagram. Me and my other friend were just mucking around. And then time went on, like another couple months, I just randomly hit him up like, hey, can we stay at your place? Like, we want to hitchhike from LA to New York. Crazy. And he was like, he said, yeah, sure. What? And then he's like, who's this again? Like, straight away, he was like...
That just shows like a little glimpse into his character. Like, such a kind person to just be able to like, just say yes before he even really understands the whole situation.
He didn't even know what was going on. He's like, yeah, whatever. And he's like, wait, who is this again? But he was so nice.
That's sick, yeah.
So we had that lined up, right? And then we got there, and then what do you reckon?
Yeah, I guess we kind of just like rocked up to LA, and we're just like, damn, we're actually here right now. It was like pitch black at night. We're just like, what is going on? And then I remember kind of, you were kind of like texting back and forth with V-Force, kind of going like, oh yeah, like we're on our way right now. What's the location? All this shit.
What do you think of this? Like, what do you expect from him? Like, did you expect him to be what he was like?
No, not at all. Like when I was hearing like college, like frat vibes, I was thinking like, you know, like one of those like, I don't know, like jock kind of guys. Like, dude. But yeah, no, he was actually like super chill and just like awesome, really down to earth. Helped us out big time. And so we kind of rocked up to LA to like this weird college town. All pitch black at night. We're kind of looking for the location, just like, where even are we right now? And then he kind of just like emerged from the darkness and was just like, yo.
Yeah, he was so like welcoming and friendly. He's like, welcome to LA, baby. And we're like, damn, this set us off to a crazy good start, because that night we went to his place and he like pretty much set us up for like the whole trip. He pretty much went through the whole map with us. Originally we wanted to go from LA to New York through like the bottom,
kind of downwards, like through Arizona and all that kind of stuff. Still like the southern coast, I guess.
Yeah, but then he pretty much said it's probably better to go north. So we ended up taking the more scenic route, which took us through like Utah, Denver. Where else did we even go through, bro? I can't even.
Like Illinois. Oh no, did we go through Illinois? We went to Indianapolis.
Indianapolis,
kind of those like middle kind of Midwest.
Bro, I'm just thinking about all the characters. There was so many people who helped us on that trip. Like, I was just thinking of the Indianapolis, like the family, Ludi.
Of course. Shout out to Ludi, man. Shout out to Ludi. And what's the name of Cottagecore girl? Damn.
Cottagecore Hall. Like, there's this TikTok
crazy
girl. Where did she find us?
Honestly, we bumped into her at the gas station, asked her for a lift.
Oh,
that's crazy.
Damn.
That was a total. That's further into the story.
We should work up to that. Yeah, sorry, we're jumping around a little bit.
Yeah.
First official podcast. So
number one.
Yeah, but pretty much we got to LA, and then met up with V-Force. We organized our stuff, planned our route out, and we didn't get to sleep that night until like 3 a.m. or something.
It was bad, because we went to some weird. Yeah, that's the thing. We went like as soon as we touched down, we're kind of like a little bit out of sorts. Like, where are we? And then V-Force is like, yeah, man, we're going to like this party tonight. Yeah. Like, come check it out. We're like, sure, let's try it out. Let's go suss it.
Bro, it was my first, or probably both of our first American frat party.
Yeah.
Bro, it's exactly like the movies. It's just like, it feels like I don't know, like a caricature. You know what I mean? It feels like fake. Like when you walk there and there's like people like hooking up with each other on the stairs, like tongue down their throats and shit.
And it was so interesting seeing like, it's like in movies, in American movies, when you see like the different cliques and stuff. Like you got like the goth chicks, and then you got like the nerds or whatever that means, and then you got like, you know, the jocks and all that.
It's literally broken up into like jocks, goth girls.
But they all kind of like party in the same area. Like they're all at the same spot, which is interesting. Yeah,
we actually got in for free because one of Vinforce's friends knew the security guard or whatever. But that was a good start to the trip.
Definitely.
And then we pretty much were ready to start the next day, and that's
got back into it. So the next day there was a pretty crazy event that happened,
bro. Like pretty much
first morning in the States. Pretty crazy.
If you want to know, we met Kanye West actually in LA at
we
Waffle
promise
House.
This is a legit story. We have me and Jet to back it up, and also V-Force, so we can get him to like back that. But so
we woke up. We woke
up at like 7ish in the morning.
7, pretty early. Woke up pretty early.
We had like 4 hours of sleep, by the way, at this point.
We went to Target just to get hammocks, water bottles, everything we needed, right? And V-Force, he was so nice. You'll see V-Force in episode 1. But V-Force literally came with us, took us all the way out of LA. He showed us everywhere, hopped on the bus with us. He like showed us everywhere. Came like 3 hours with us, journey out of LA.
Mission,
But after we got our gear, after we left Target, we wanted to stop for some breakfast at Waffle House, right? And that's, like I said, where we met Kanye West.
Oh no, it was was it Waffle? Oh, Dennys.
Oh, Dennys. Sorry, not Waffle House.
It's honestly super similar. Super similar.
My bad. So we met Kanye West at Dennys.
Yeah.
And then tell him, because you were the first person to meet him there. So like, what happened?
This is like seriously one of the trippiest things that's ever happened to me before. Like, people are always talking about like, oh, bro, like I want to meet Kanye, all this shit. I've always been like, I'm a big fan of his music and stuff, but he's like a crazy character. So I was just like, damn. Yeah. But anyway, so we're having our breakfast at Dennys, right? It's like a super quiet morning. Like there's like hardly anyone in this college town because it's like a Sunday morning, is it?
I don't even remember, bro. Yes. Honestly, we left on a bad day because I remember going to Vegas. We remember everyone was coming back from Vegas, so we couldn't get to Vegas. But
it must have been like a Sunday because everybody was kind of hungover, just asleep at their dorms and whatever.
Yeah.
Just in this quiet place where you just go to this Dennys. Like we just kind of picked it because had you had it before?
No, I've never been to Dennys. So like a diner experience.
We'll go suss it out kind of thing. And we're in there just eating our breakfast, nice and quiet in there. And I'm just like, okay, I kind of need to go to the toilet. So I go to the bathroom, but it's locked, right? So I'm like, oh shit, I need to go get the bathroom key. So I pull up to the front desk and I'm kind of waiting around. There's not any service people at the front. I'm just kind of waiting around, and I hear someone come in, and I just turn around to go see like what the noise was. And it's literally just like Kanye West just like standing right behind me. And I'm just like, what? I just kind of like do a double take, and I turn around and I'm just like, dude, hi. And he's just like, hey man. And I'm just like, this is so surreal right now. And he goes, how do you think it feels for me?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what? Like, okay, you know what? You kind of got a point there. Like, and then I just kind of started just treating him a bit more normally and stuff. And like he was just kind of like chilling there with his girlfriend, who's from Australia as well.
So when I walked over, so Max left to go get water for the table or something, or go to the toilet. Yeah. And I walk over and I look up at Max, but I don't see Max straight away. What I see is a girl in a balaclava with a t-shirt wrapped around her head, and I was like, what? Why do you have a balaclava on in Dennys? Like what? And then I look to the right, and I see this figure, and I'm like, wait. And I look at you, and then
I remember seeing your face. You just stared at me like, you're like, is that? And I was like, yeah.
And then Max was just like, yeah. So that was crazy. And then what did he do? He hopped behind the counter or something?
It was so funny. Like at one point he literally like hopped behind the counter and pretended to take my order. He's just like, he just like had the menu. He's like, so what can I get for you today, sir?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'll have this, and this, and kind of just laughed it off. And he was just like giggling and shit. He's just like a big kid.
Man. I really want to like film it and shit, but I felt like just respect thing, like, you know what I mean? You don't want to just I feel like he just wanted to feel like a normal person.
Yeah, because like, honestly, that's probably why he was there. Just wanted to kind of just like have a normal experience.
Exactly.
And like the paparazzi, they give him a hard time, you know what I mean?
He doesn't want cameras, some kids in his face.
Yeah,
like
exactly. And on top of that, like we actually, when we went and sat back down, he kind of sat at a table really close to us. And I noticed there was some kids at a table kind of trying to take a photo of him on their phone. And then this like random security guard, like undercover guy, just walks over, gets the phone and deletes it off the kid's phone. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh shit, like I didn't even know he had a security guard with him. Yeah. He was kind of like lurking in the background. And then, we kind of just left Dennys, and on the way out, I was like,
we were just so like in awe. We're like, wait, is this real? And I felt like gave us such a good starts of the journey, we like felt like some shit's happening in the air, like
definitely
some things working for us right now. Because like it's just a weird occurrence,
dude. Yeah, that was a crazy, just like universal moment. Just like what.
That's what I'm saying. It felt almost like the universe was aligning for us, like as to start our journey off.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. It just felt like, wow. So this is what America's like. You know?
Yeah. Because we were in like Beverly Hills at that point, I think.
Yeah,
somewhere
it was pretty
there.
close. It was like 20 minutes away from like where all the rich people in Beverly Hills kind of live.
Yeah.
So I get it. He was kind of like in that vicinity, kind of just cruising around, like, where's like a quiet spot I can go eat at?
It's funny, but because his girlfriend is Australian as well, which is like a weird.
I wonder if there was like, she kind of noticed that because she was kind of like giggling as well. And like, I don't know, I can't really remember what she said.
Yeah.
But she might have picked up our accents and been like, oh, true, what the hell? So yeah, crazy, small world.
Small world. It's weird. Like, yeah. Anyways, so after that, we kind of, what did we do after that? It was like the first day of hitchhiking.
Day one, hey? So yeah, I guess V-Force kind of, he basically took us right to the edge of town where you kind of get a bus out to like the outer skirts. Yeah, he trekked it with us for like 2 hours on like a couple buses, a train. Like, yeah, he's got the local knowledge. That was super helpful. Shout out to V-Force.
Yeah, he literally held our hands through the start of our journey. And like, if we went there without knowing V-Force, we would be in LA like, okay, where do we go? Like, we don't know. But then we got to the first town. Our first goal we wanted to get to was Vegas. So we made our first ever sign, first ever hitchhiking sign.
That's
the
so
Vegas
iconic,
sign.
damn.
That was iconic. That's where I made the first TikTok video, just like a joke.
That's right.
And then that like turned into another TikTok video. Then eventually the whole series kind of blew up on TikTok. But yes, we made our first sign, and then we were just asking people. I remember like asking people in the street, hey, and everyone was laughing at us. Hey, remember the people in the cars?
That's right. We were kind of just like testing the waters. We did not even know if this would work. Like, we got there with the idea of we want to hitchhike across America. We had never done it before. We didn't know if this is actually going to work. And so, yeah, we were kind of just like, I remember just filming Jet, just kind of like asking random people walking past. And some guy that I remember quite vividly, he's like, oh, like you were like, hey, you going to Vegas by any chance? And he's like, no, but if I was, I'd definitely take you guys. I was like, oh, that was kind of a good sign.
We did get a lot of that. We got a lot of good signs early. Like a lot of people just weren't going there.
Yeah.
But like people were like, yeah, if I was going, I'd take you. Because I think one thing we wanted to really do on this trip is like make sure we looked presentable. And like we didn't look homeless. And like we looked like just some kids. I don't know, even showing the camera and stuff makes people feel like, oh, these guys aren't like sketchy.
Yeah, you look a bit more legit. Like you're not trying to like rob them or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because there's a lot of people were scared. That's something I want to touch on in this. I feel like it's like fear and like the whole thing, like stopping people from doing stuff. But like
for sure. Yeah. It's definitely, this whole trip was such a big boost for like confidence, I think, for the both of us. Because I just remember there was some crazy moments where like I would be filming you and you would literally ask about 30 people in a row if they could give you a lift, and they all said no, and you just kept going, man. Like that kind of like determination was just like, damn, you got to do it. Like,
bro, I feel like it just built up our resilience so much. Hey,
yeah,
like
for sure.
Just getting rejected, like after rejected.
Yeah, after 90% of the people you ask are gonna say no, because like if you think about it, like put it into your shoes, like if some random kids you don't know from another country came up to you like, yo, like, can you give us a lift like a 2-hour driveway? They're gonna be like, what?
Bro, people came to Australia and said to me, hey, could you take me to like the Blue Mountains, which is like 2 hours from here? I'd be like, probably not.
Yeah,
bro.
like that's a bit out of the way. Yeah.
But like it's weird. People were willing. We got some rides that were like 8 hours plus long.
True,
bro, and all we did was just talk to them in the car. Yeah,
I think a lot of people in America,
bro, but this guy was lucky because he just got to sit in the back filming while I was talking like the whole time.
He was definitely the conversationalist. I'll give him that, because I was just kind of like, what is happening?
Bro, my XP on like conversational skills, boom, it was like double XP that whole trip.
100%. But yeah, okay, so
back to the story. Yeah, so
we're on these outskirts of LA, and we're like, all right, so we're gonna. Where was the first stop that we kind of wanted to take that bus to?
Right?
I think we got to Hesperia. That's where JP. JP.
It's too many characters. I just want to touch on everyone and like just give a little backstory into like who they are and like what they did for us. And but yeah, for
sure. I guess maybe let's start with our first ride.
Yeah, that's probably at LA. First, so pretty much we got to an intersection. So pretty much the way how we did this whole thing is, to hitchhike, you want to find like the on ramps. So you don't want to stand on a random highway, like random road. Like you're not going to really get a ride doing that. So we were testing that out at the start, and then eventually we made our way to the on-ramp, which is like where cars drive onto the main highway heading towards Vegas.
Yeah, and so with an on-ramp, it's either sometimes it's like a ramp that literally just goes up, or sometimes it's like a curve where they can kind of, with the cars can slow down.
The curve ones are good.
They're so good at the curve ones, man.
The curve ones, right? So if you want to do this, you have to find like the curved on-ramps because it gives people a time to actually pull over. Because we tried hitchhiking like on main roads with cars like zooming past, and it's like, in reality, how are they going to pull over and pick us up?
Yeah, true. We were pretty naive at the start. We would literally be standing on these highways over there. I don't know what the conversion would be, but they're going like 90 Ks, and you're kind of just standing with these signs. And
in the first episode,
they kind of just like look at you like, what are you doing? Or they'll give you a honk, but
yeah. And then, anyways, we get our first ride, JP.
Yeah, so JP, he was literally like the goat who kind of started this whole thing for us. Like after V-Force, JP's like, he's up there, you know. He really like, he gave us hope because we were kind of just like stuck in this spot. Like we were only there for about 6 minutes or something.
Actually, jokes. We got our first ride from this spot in like 6 minutes. Because on the camera we say,
now that I think about it, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah, we actually fluked it straight away. Yeah.
We were kind of just like waiting on this corner or under a bridge for a little bit, and we're like, oh, it's like a bit dark in here. I don't know if they'll be able to see the signs.
Yeah.
So we literally just like move about 50 meters up the road into where it's like a nice and sunny, and we're there for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then I just see this guy kind of turn the corner and slow down into like this little.
It felt surreal, hey?
Yeah, and I was like, no way we're about to get picked up right now. This is crazy.
And we run over to him. He's like, hey, man, my name's JP. He's just like, hop in. And then like we get in, and then it felt so crazy because me and Max were talking about literally the other day, like how insane to know, like if we didn't get that first ride from JP, we wouldn't have got the second ride from the second person and the third person. So all these little connections and like having to wait. Yeah. Like we thought we were taking L's at one point, but then that led us to our next person, which like took us to so many crazy places throughout the whole trip.
Like it definitely showed that like you say, there's no such thing as taking a loss because you waited maybe a little bit longer than you thought you would, but then that's how you got the ride from the person who was meant to come for you. You know
exactly,
what I mean?
exactly.
Like it's all just a waiting game, and don't lose hope, I guess, is the main thing.
I feel like we learnt patience in that trip. 100%. Like we learned how to wait. And that first night, we were on the road for so long. Hey, it was like 8 hours.
So JP drives us all through like this California kind of.
That was
kind of takes us like out of the city.
True, he took us on a special route.
And he took us down like this scenic route, like down these dirt roads. Like it took us to this giant water area where there's like a bunch of kids like playing in summer break kind of thing.
That was cool.
Yeah. And then we kind of get to this town called Hesperia, which was like so cursed. Like it was so weird.
Because we thought hitchhiking was easy. After we got our first ride in 6 minutes, like,
we're like,
it's going to be
dude,
easy.
We're going to
be in New York in like 2 days.
Man, we couldn't be more wrong, but hey.
Yeah, we got humbled like pretty quick.
Yeah. So we get to Hesperia, right? And we're like, okay, we'll quickly go get some food, because he was telling us about what was that fast food joint?
Bro, that was pretty good, wasn't it?
What was it?
In-N-Out. In-N-Out's like a special thing in like West Coast, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think
we had that. That was crazy.
Yeah, he kind of just dropped us there, and he's like, yeah, you got to try the animal style burger. I'm like, shit, okay.
Oh, I forgot about the animal style burger.
So we got some good food. And we're like, yeah, we're feeling good. Like, let's get back on the road kind of thing. And then as we go out the door, it starts to like kind of drizzle a little bit. And I'm just like, damn, this is going to be a long night. I can just feel it.
I remember that.
Yeah. And so we ended up, basically, long story short, we ended up walking around this Hesperia town for like legit 6 hours. I think it was about 5 or 6 hours.
We were walking through like, it looked like work. Like, remember walking through the paddock? This is random paddock, like on the highway. We're just like, damn, we're really not going to get a ride like tonight.
Yeah. That was definitely a thought that went through my head. I was like, shit. We might have to like spend the night somewhere.
You want to know a funny thing? We actually did get a ride before that 8-hour wait, like after JP.
That's right.
The dad, what's his name? The dad. Bro, what's his name?
Damn, I actually can't remember.
Aaron.
Oh, Aaron. Yeah, Aaron with 2 A's. That's it.
My name's Aaron. And I was like, Aaron? Your name's Aaron?
I thought it was like E-R-I-N, but it was like A-R-O-N. I was like, oh, true.
Yeah, just how they say Aaron in America. But yeah, he actually took us literally 200 meters down the road.
Yeah, he's like, I'll drop you at the truck stop. You'll definitely get a ride. And we're like, yo, that's sick. Like, let's do it. Yeah. He drops us at this truck stop. Oh, that's right. We got to put the footage up. But like, there was like legit 1,000 trucks at this truck stop, and no one would take us.
Bro, I didn't know the trucking thing was so... We learned about the whole trucking industry on this trip.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. It was there's a lot to learn about all that.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's ridiculous.
Bro, so like... yeah, we ended up getting we had no luck on that first night, and we're kind of like a bit disappointed with ourselves a little bit. So we're like, you know what? Let's get an early rest. It wasn't even early. It was like midnight though. So we walked to this Holiday Inn, like the closest one, right? And then there's this lady. She is just like lingering out the front, and we're like, okay, cool. We walk past her, and then we walk into the hotel, and then she like follows us in for some reason.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty sus about her. When I first saw her, like when we were walking into the Holiday Inn, she was like fully staring me down. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, she's like, yeah. Anyway, so we get in there, and then I'm like trying to get us a room for the night. This is super cheapest room. It's like a 2-star motel.
Yeah.
I booked a room, and then she says, "Hey, can I come stay with you guys?" And I was like, I was trying to like repay the favor.
Yeah, I was like,
and Max.
I literally turned around and I was just like, no, sorry, like we're trying to get an early night, and then she's like, oh, are you sure? Like I'll be really quiet. And then Jet's like, yeah, you know.
Yeah, I was like, no, come in.
Yeah,
so Max was like, no, and then I was like, no, come in. Cause I just wanted to like kind of repay like just that first ride. JP.
Honestly, fair enough. You know, like she seemed pretty, like I don't know, she seemed pretty chill to be honest.
Yeah. She was nice.
Yeah.
I feel like she was nice, but in the first episode you'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you want to even talk about it?
Maybe
this is going to come out before, like the.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Should we save it or should we say it?
Let's save it.
Okay, we'll save it. You'll see it.
You'll see it in the episode.
Yeah. That was a pretty funny little experience to kind of set it off again. Like we had this crazy good day.
Yeah.
Then we had this really like weird kind of moment. But
yeah.
Anyway, you'll see when it comes out.
Yeah. So then it's pretty much day 2, and day 2 was the day we made it to Vegas.
It was, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe we got there in basically 2 days. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty good if you think about that. I feel like
we felt like we were on schedule big time.
I thought we were behind schedule on the first day. I was getting worried like we're behind schedule, but oh, what is that? I think the GoPro just died or something.
Is it still recording?
Oh, error on the SD. Doesn't matter. We got one there.
I'm still recording, yeah?
Is that all good?
Yeah, we're still good.
Yeah, we're all good. We can cut that up. But anyways, it's day 2. I don't know. Should we talk about like a lot of like? Do you think we should even run through the whole trip? Because I feel like the episodes will kind of like we don't want to give too much away, but we can kind of go over a lot of things.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we should just like talk about the location and then talk about the person that gave us a lift and then just kind of like run it.
Yeah, I feel like we don't want to go too crazy because there's like so much that the episodes will show for themselves.
We could be here for hours and hours and hours talking about this.
Like I was just thinking that we could run you through literally every day.
Yeah.
But like that would take like too long, and I feel like the episodes do a good job at that.
100%.
So I feel like if we maybe just cover a couple memorable characters, some of their backstories, because in some of the episodes we don't really get a chance to expand on that.
Yeah, that's a good point because there was a lot of moments where like
we weren't filming.
Yeah. Because like we were trying to film as much as we could. There's over like 600 gigabytes of footage. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
it's crazy.
But yeah, there was a lot of stuff that we couldn't capture. You know, like you can only have the camera rolling at every moment, like so many times. You know, so yeah, there's a lot of there's some parts where you kind of like it kind of jump cuts into like a specific situation. So yeah, I guess that's where we can come along and kind of.
Yeah, well, I'll just start off with it. Who was your favorite character from the trip you reckon that we met?
Favorite character? Damn, that's a good question.
Because bro, we have a list in our notes, in Max's notes, of like every person that gave us a lift, and there's like nicknames they had. Like I like Dragonfly a lot.
Okay, you know what? Dragonfly's definitely up there.
Yeah, he
was cool. He was really cool, and he kind of got in a little bit of trouble, but he still like came through for us, you know. So I got 2 people.
Yeah,
and one of them is Dragonfly, and then one of them is my boy Cody.
Oh, Cody!
If you're watching this, man, get in contact with us because I want to know what you're up to, bro. Because like,
I want to link up. Like, I feel like it'd be cool to link back up with these characters and like kind of like do because we met someone who was our age, Zach.
Yeah, true.
Zach?
Oh, Zach, yo, yeah.
Zach was so nice. He was from where was
Utah,
he from? Salt Lake City.
Yeah, Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City. He lived over in
some like
Park City.
Yeah, Park City. That's right.
And
it's just beautiful. Like Park City's like this. It's like the perfect American little town. Like that's how I'd explain
it. It's like magical. It feels very like magical there.
Dreamland.
But he let us stay at his place in this Airbnb that he was just living in for free for some reason.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He had a lot of but anyways, go on with your favorite.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about Dragonfly.
Dragonfly's definitely. So why is he called Dragonfly? Pretty much he is a truck driver who picked us up on the 3rd day and he was like this whole trip with this Dragonfly dude, we're talking about Fast and Furious, Need for Speed, the Cannonball Run.
Yeah.
Did you remember? Do you remember
the Cannonball Run? It's like a movie from like what, the 50s or the 60s or something.
Yeah, it's pretty much how like someone set a record. It's like this route people take through America, starting from LA all the way to maybe it's east to west, vice versa. I'm not sure. It's
basically like a kind of one road kind of
thing.
And
they like speed through it. And he was talking about he wanted to build out like this giant car. Like he said, if he ever won the lottery, he would like make a crazy car, and like I don't even know, he'd figure out all like the gas stuff with that
to try and like beat this record, right?
Yeah,
like trying to get across America, basically what we were doing, but like speed run times 10.
They're doing like 2 or 3 days or something. But
wild.
So talk about Dragonfly, you reckon?
Yeah, so Dragonfly, we were kind of stuck in. So after we got to Vegas, we had like a pretty rough sleep at night, like overnight kind of thing. We woke up in the morning. We walk about like 5 minutes down the road to like this kind of on-ramp, right? It's got a nice curve to it. I thought there would be some trucks or some cars that would slow down and kind of let us in.
Yeah.
And we're waiting there for a while, probably about 20 to 30 minutes maybe.
I think it was a little bit. It was a little bit of a wait for this driver.
But still, honestly, pretty quick. 20 to 30 minutes is not that bad for hitchhiking when you're waiting for a car.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're just waiting on, and I see this giant, like I'm talking huge white truck coming, and I'm just like, yeah, let's give it a shot, right? And I'm kind of just standing there, like holding my sign out with my thumb, like pick us up kind of thing.
The footage is crazy because we got the camera just on the ground, and we're just like standing there, like me and him are just like. Just pretty much, and it's so dead. The area was so
seriously,
quiet,
it was like a wasteland, like a desert wasteland.
I think I was like at one point, like, do you think we even get a ride from here? Like, it was so dead. And then
it was a little bit worrying, honestly.
And then out of nowhere, this giant truck just pulls in. It didn't look like he was pulling over at first.
Yeah, he kind of like honked in a way. Yeah. Didn't he like, I think he honked or like made some noise with the truck.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's funny. Like, it would be funny if he actually did pick us up, because I thought he was just going to keep going. And then he just slowed down on this bend. And we're like, we kind of looked at each other, like, is this real right now? Yeah. Like, that's crazy.
It was so sick. We're like running, we're like so ecstatic. He's like, get in. I think,
you got to him first, right?
Yeah, I got to him first. And he's like, I was like, are you serious? Are you serious? He's like, yeah, get in. And I'm like, yo, I'm like running down past the truck to pick up our bags. And then
I seriously
Max
didn't
picks up
believe
the
my
camera
eyes,
and we get in. And then that was one of the best. It's so cool. He took us to, where did he take us to?
So he took us to this place called St. George, right? And St. George is just like, it's seriously the weirdest place. It's like, it's in Utah.
St. George is in Utah, yeah.
It's like this giant rock area, just like, it's not like classic desert like you think. It's not like sand and like all that kind of stuff. It's like just rocks and just like red earth. Like it's pretty crazy. It kind of looks a little bit like Aussie in a way.
A little bit. Kind of looks like Australian outback because it's very like red dirt, orangey. Because we went to a really cool place. Remember what it was called?
Oh.
The Jump Rock.
Oh, what's it called?
We hitchhiked a boat as well.
Yeah,
you see that?
Yeah, that is some crazy footage. I can't remember the exact name of that like gorge that we went to.
I can't remember either. Yeah.
You'll see it though. You'll see it.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. Yeah.
But so he kind of just like we're driving along this road and stuff, trying to get to St. George, right? Like that's the location we asked, and he was kind of like going through that way. He kind of lived around there, I think.
Yeah, he lived in St. George. Yeah.
So he was just like drove us along the way, and all this crazy stuff happened. You'll see, we almost got him in a little bit of trouble because what we learned, because we learned a lot about trucking, right? And something quite interesting that we learned is that there's certain licenses that you need to have as a truck driver, and one of them was like, if you can't pick up, like if you're driving a commercial vehicle, you can't pick up people
like civilians. You can't have civilians in your truck.
I think they need to have a license as well.
Yeah, or I think you need to go through a big approval process, right? But this dude, it was funny. It's so funny. This guy was like, nah, it's fine. Like they never pull you in. Like so, there's pretty much all these like truck inspection bays that trucks have to go through on their trips throughout all of America just to check like the weight and stuff. And it's all like automated. Remember how we went over like the weight thing and it like picks up on the weight?
Interesting. Yeah, it just looks like a road, but it's actually like a scale.
Yeah. And then we pretty much get like pulled in, and like before that he would actually no. Let's go the night before. Someone's pretty much warned us. The night before, someone warned us. Remember that?
Yeah, that was kind of like a foreshadowing, to be honest.
Yeah, that was
like we kind of went to this truck driver, and we're like, "Hey man, can you give us a lift to St. George?" And he kind of just like looked us up and down. I was like, "Nope," and we're like, "Why not?" And he's like, you know how illegal that is? You know how much trouble I could get in? You guys could get a big fine too.
You say you guys will go to jail, I'll go to jail. That's cap.
It's probably a bit of an over-exaggeration.
But like, yeah.
And we were just like, oh. damn, like, what's up? And he's like, oh, it's like highly illegal, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, didn't he say something about like a lot of people coming over the border, like, trying to do
there's
it?
a lot of like trafficking, human trafficking, like to sneak people in and stuff.
Yeah,
and
that's Dragonfly was kind of telling us a little bit about that. Yeah, and he was kind of like explaining why there's so many like checks and regulations, and we're like, damn. But we at the same time he was playing it off like, oh yeah, it's all good, like.
Yeah, he was so nonchalant about it, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll be fine. Like we do these inspections all the time, and never get pulled in. And what do you know? We get pulled into the inspection bay, and we at first were like, are we in trouble here? Like it was a weird feeling in our guts. We're like,
but then Dragonfly just kept assuring. He's like, "Oh no, it should be okay, guys." he's like, if they ask me any questions, I'll just tell them you're my cousins from Australia, and I'm just like, okay, cool, yeah, that's sweet.
Oh, I feel so bad for him, bro.
Me too. And then so basically we get pulled into this inspection bay because I think maybe it was either just complete random luck that,
or maybe they saw us. I feel like there's
because there was lots of cameras as well.
There's like police officer kind of people, and they look. I think maybe they look through the trucks, whoever's driving, and we were in the front seat with him, and we just look like two random people. Like, why are we in the truck with this dude? Like,
we didn't really look like we fit in. We had like all this gear with us. Like it looked a bit suspicious. And so we get pulled into this inspection bay, and this like officer looking guy like comes walking over to the truck, and I'm just like, oh, this is so red hot. Like we might actually get in some trouble here, right? And then Dragonfly starts to get a little bit more nervous. Like he was calm and he was telling us, oh, it should be fine. And then he's like, uh-oh.
That's when we got a little bit worried.
Yeah, it started to go a little bit like south, I guess.
And then the guy's like asking for his papers and stuff, and then he's getting all this information. He's like, do you mind getting out of the car?
Yeah.
And he takes Dragonfly out of the car for questioning in the...
And before he goes... Yeah, okay, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I'm starting to remember now. Yeah, before he goes... So Dragonfly kind of gets out and like starts to walk inside, and then the officer guy comes over to Jet's side of the car, like on the window, climbs up the truck side and goes, "Hey, are you boys okay?"
Yeah.
And we're like, "Yeah, it's all good. It's all good." He's like, "Are you sure you're not being like, you're not in trouble or you're not in danger?" And we're like, "No." And he's like, oh, "Okay, well, there's a lot of people that kind of you're not being used as like sex trafficking and stuff." We're like, no, like what?
No, we're all good. Yeah.
And then he kind of was like, okay, well, I'm just going to go ask him a few questions. I'll get back to you boys soon. It's like, oh my gosh. And it was the most tense, like 20 minutes. We're just sitting there in this truck, like, what is happening? Like,
bro, we were sitting there. I was like, Max was filming. He's like, should I stop filming? Should I stop? I'm like, maybe put the camera down for a bit. And we were actually like, I was a little bit like worried. I'm like, damn, are we like going to get like, I don't know, could we get in trouble for that? Like, would we get kicked
I feel
out,
like we might get fined, but they would not put you in prison for that, I don't reckon.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the only person who would probably get in trouble is Dragonfly, which still sucks. Like, it's not
that's like his license. That's his whole like life there. Like,
and I think he came back, and we see him walking over, and he looks kind of like just not sad, but he was just kind of like, a bit of trouble. Gets in the car, and we're like, is everything okay? And he's like, yeah, you know, like he's such a trooper. He was playing it off like nothing happened. He's like, you know, I might get in a little bit of trouble with my boss, but you know, it's okay.
Yeah, he had to call up his boss because the officer found out obviously we're not supposed to be in the truck.
Yeah.
So Dragonfly had to call his boss and tell him, oh, like, can you get me permission like to have these guys in the truck and like send a message to say you allowed it and you already got everything organized beforehand. Yeah. So he actually got in trouble with his boss, and we were like, damn, do we just like lose this guy's job?
Yeah, because that's his livelihood at the end of the day, man. Yeah. So I did feel a little bit bad, but honestly, he kept saying like, oh, it's all good, guys, don't even stress about it.
Okay, we're back. Sorry about that before. The SD card literally filled up too fast. This is like our first podcast recording with this setup and stuff, so still getting used to it, but we'll figure it out. It's a game of just getting better, small steps.
I think so. Yeah. All a process, I guess.
Yeah. But anyways, back to where we just were. We're talking about Dragonfly, how we nearly got arrested and deported out of America. Yeah.
Low key.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he just ends up driving basically another 10 minutes down the road. Like we were so close to getting dropped off to the destination. We just happened to get pulled onto this little side moment that almost like landed us in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, we were so close to we're like, this is easy. And then literally we're about on the map. On my Google Maps, it says we're about 5 minutes away. What do you know? We get pulled into the bay, and then that whole incident occurs with the officer, and then we get out of there alive, and we're all good. Yeah. But then literally we get to the next spot. What was it? A Burger King.
Burger King, yeah. It was like this weird Burger King inside like a 7-Eleven.
Burger King, yeah.
So random, yeah.
That was really weird, hey?
Yeah. There's a lot of that kind of stuff in the States, I realize. Like, just franchises inside. Like there was a Starbucks in a Target.
Yeah,
that was strange.
They do that a lot there.
Yeah.
But we get to the Burger King and we want to go to our next spot. What is it called? I'm really trying to remember what it's called here. Let me have a look. Let me actually have a look.
Yeah, may as well.
This is important. This is important. This is very important.
It was basically just like this beautiful like oasis in the middle of nowhere. And we were trying to get there because we saw it online. We saw it on like TikTok and stuff like that. And yeah, we just kind of walked into this Burger King to get a feed because we were like hella hungry after this big ass journey.
I got it. Sand Hollow State Park. So we wanted to go to Sand Hollow, right? Sand Hollow.
Yeah.
And this day is pretty much the day that pretty much everything went crazy on TikTok.
Yeah.
This whole day, Dragonfly, Sand Hollow. This is a day that kind of went super viral. I think got over like 2.4 million views.
That's crazy.
And we just saw that like
it was so iconic. That's why like so much action packed. It was such an action packed day.
That's
honestly.
episode 3, bro. Like that is a crazy episode. That's one of my favorite days for sure.
True, it's up there for me. Yeah.
As a highlight.
Yeah.
But like when we get to Burger King, I make this sign right for the Sand Hollow State Park, and literally the first person I ask, the first person who's sitting behind us is this kid. He looked like he was 19, 18 years old. I said, "Hey, you going to No, I said, "Can you take us to Sand Hollow State Park?"
And he's kind of just like, no, not really. I'm not going that way.
Yeah.
And we're like, all good.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, sorry, you keep going.
Yeah, so he's like, no, I'm not going that way. And then we're like, oh, okay, all good. You know, we're used to rejection at this point. It's day 3. We've got rejected 100 times already. And then we wait a little bit. And then we hear, oh, wait a second. Maybe I can take you guys. And then this guy, like, what was he delivering?
Okay, so basically, his name's Jaron. Shout out to Jaron. He's like this legit 19-year-old kid, and he's working this summer job where he's kind of like he's in like a low-level kind of like air conditioning,
almost like mechanic-y, or like fixes air conditioners and he installs them.
Is it in cars or in houses?
Houses, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. He installs air conditioning, like pretty cool work. And yeah, he's kind of like a door-to-door salesman that kind of does that. And yeah, so basically we hop in his car and he's like, yeah, I'll take you guys, whatever. Kind of telling us a bit about his story. It was pretty cool. And yeah, kind of just drives us all the way there. It was like a 40-minute drive.
Took us to Sand Hollow, and then we get to Sand Hollow, and that was such a beautiful place. That looked like Mars, bro. I haven't seen anywhere like that before.
Dude, it's so surreal, hey? Like, I remember we were just like walking along this rocky kind of like cliff thing, like where are we going? Like we could hear water and like kids splashing and stuff. We're like, what's happening? Get over the top of this hill and we just come to this beautiful like,
bro, you gotta see, like, you gotta see that. It's in episode 3. Yeah, keep an eye out for that one. But that was crazy, bro.
Honestly, yeah. And I was like, wow,
so crazy.
And it was so good to come across after like such a hot day out in the desert, like a Nevada desert. Get to Utah, it's still a desert. Oh, it's crazy.
Vegas was a bit of a trap. That was kind of crazy there.
That's a crazy place. I can't believe we just like glossed over Vegas.
True, we didn't even talk about Vegas at all, bro.
Man, I don't
pretty much. What did I make? I made like 100K in one night.
Yeah, I think I made like 1.4 mil, but then I blew it. You know what I mean?
No, we actually lost heaps of money in Vegas. That's why we're not talking about it.
Yeah,
we lost $100, $100
We're not ballers. We're not ballers like that. Nah, but honestly, I don't think Vegas needs a whole lot of.
It's not too much
explanation. It's just like you'll see it. It speaks for itself. It's a crazy place.
Yeah. What do you think the scariest night was, or when were you afraid the most during the trip?
Afraid?
Or like not at all?
Afraid? I don't think I was afraid at any point. I think I was just like, there was times where I was nervous, like about, you know, when we were waiting for like 6-7 hours for a car and nothing was coming. I was like, damn, maybe we're just running out of luck kind of thing.
We did hit that point where we were like, damn, maybe we won't be able to make it. But in the back of our heads, I feel like we'll just like, a ride's coming. You know, that ride's coming. And it always did. It always came,
A perfect example of that is when we were in Denver.
Denver, yeah.
I know we're kind of jumping forward a little bit. That's what we're doing on this podcast. We're going to jump around.
You know what? Let's just jump around. We don't care. Let's just jump around, tell stories,
exactly,
have fun.
Because it all kind of links up anyway. It doesn't need to be like linear, you know. Like
you don't need to hear this linear story. That's boring. Whatever. We're figuring it out with you guys. But yeah,
definitely.
Denver. That's the place you do not want to go.
Actually, you know, and I was a little bit scared there. Maybe there was a bit of fear for Denver because it was just like, it was actually kind of sad because it was like in the middle of America, right? Kind of, right? Denver's kind of like in the middle, a bit up, I guess.
I was a bit still to the left, still West Coast,
still a bit
little bit.
And it was kind of like just this giant city, like it was huge, right? Just like a lot of urbanization and stuff, but there's also so much homelessness, and it was just like you don't really like, you in Sydney where we're from, you kind of like go to the city and you see a lot of homeless people, but in Denver, like in the suburbs, there was just like homeless people just like kind of walking around.
We went to the 7-Eleven or something, a gas station, and in the car park there's like 10 cars of homeless people like broken down. There's a lady and a dog. She looked like she was our age as well.
And people are doing it tough out there, and it's just like it doesn't, I feel like in Australia there's a bit more support and a bit more like, you know, getting behind people who are struggling. But in America, it feels like they're kind of just like left to their own devices.
America, bro, I feel like you're actually on your own. There's no support there. Like from the government, at least from what we heard from a lot of people. Because we had a lot of political discussions in the cars with so many
you can't escape it. You can't escape it, man.
America is very political. Like we learned that like they're very divided. They all care a lot about who you vote for, and
like I feel like in Australia you can if you voted for someone that I didn't agree with, it would just be like, okay, that we just have different opinions.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like it's not that big of a deal. But
you say that, and someone will like, they'll literally like not be your friend because you like someone, like you like Trump or whoever the other people are. Like it's just weird. But like these people. We met this one guy, Sherwin, and his kid, right? They were on the street. That was one of the saddest moments of the whole trip, I feel like. Yeah,
we were just like across this like big intersection, and we kind of just like trying to figure out how to get across it. And then we look over on this corner, and there's just like, this dad and his kids like selling art basically on the side of the road. Yeah, and we kind of just walked over and just like started talking to them.
Yeah, so it turns out that like they were trying to sell their artworks. They were living in a tent down the road, I'm pretty sure. And the wife of the kid the mum of the kid and the wife of the Sherwin, she was actually in labor that day, and she was about to have a kid, and they were on the street trying to sell the paintings to like get enough money just to help out. And like what happened to them was they drove to Denver, and pretty much their car just broke down. And see, this is the crazy thing about America, is if one thing happens to you, a lot of the way these people live is that they're on the border of like homelessness. Like they're living paycheck to paycheck. One thing, car breaks down, mechanic, you need to pay for that. Boom. Your life is ruined. You can't keep going. You know what I mean? So these people got stuck in Denver.
So basically what happened was, I think he was even pointing to the road. Like it wasn't even that far away from where all of this happened. Like their car broke down. They didn't have enough money to get a mechanic to fix it.
So they took it to the scrapyard.
So they literally had to sell their car, and that's how they've been kind of surviving. And they live under like this bridge basically in Denver, and it's like in a pretty gnarly area, like just on a highway. And then so Sherwin's telling us this story and about, you know, his family situation, selling these paintings to try and get enough money. Jet buys one, and they're really good artists, honestly. Like the wife, I wish
I had it here. It'd be cool to show.
True. The wife, I think, is the painter, really talented. And we're kind of like, damn, that's crazy. And we, you know, say like, have a fucking blessed day kind of thing, and leave. And we're walking down under this bridge, and we come across where they're living. Remember that?
Yeah.
And it's literally just this tent with like a bunch of like scrap all like hiding
that was, like,
the tent
right under her. Yeah.
And that's where the wife was sleeping, because she's pregnant, and she's sleeping in this tent under a bridge. And we're just like, I was actually like sad.
That. We didn't want to film that.
Nah. Like, just out of respect. But that definitely made me like sad. I was like, whoa. You don't see that very often, hey?
It's like the trip I feel like was very like eye-opening to like the good and the bad. There's a lot of good. I feel like there was so much good. Like we learned to like believe in like people. Because I feel like on the trip, like, bro, we learned that like people are nice, man. Like it's not that scary out there in like the real world. Like before I went, I don't know about you, did you have any like my mom, my girlfriend, her mom, they were all like, oh, don't do that, please don't do that, you're gonna get killed.
It's the exact same situation. And honestly, fair enough, you know, like it's a pretty crazy thing to do.
It is a bit random. Not everyone's doing that.
But it was definitely like, and even I had some like preconceived thoughts about it. I was like, it's kind of a dodgy thing to do, like we might get in a bit of danger. I don't know, there was a lot of that. But like you're saying, when we got there, we were greeted with nothing but like hospitality, honestly.
And I feel like if you're someone who pulls over to pick up hitchhikers, you're a certain kind of person. You're either A, a murderer, or B, you're the nicest, kindest, sweetest, beautiful person ever.
It's either or.
Like the murderer count, the ratio is probably very small. But like, I'm sure there's sketchy people, there's dangerous people everywhere.
For sure.
But I just feel like that's the situation that's made them do, I don't know. It's kind of sad. But like the majority from the sample we got from America was so kind. Hey?
Yeah, honestly, I can't tell you how lucky we were. Like the people that we encountered, and not only encountered, but like the ones that picked us up and took us, you know, out of certain situation where it might be a bit risky to be in a certain area. Like when we're in, is that Illinois or?
St. Louis.
Oh, St. Louis, yeah.
St. Louis.
So kind of, there was some scenarios there. And then even just like when we got on these long rides with like this old couple and their friends who drove us basically all the way across Utah, like over this 8 or 9 hour drive. Like,
bro, we're getting 8 hour drives. Like, who is giving someone an 8 hour lift, bro?
Yeah, and people trying to like,
what?
People were like trying to pay for our dinners. People trying to constantly give us money. Like,
bro, we were just
crazy.
One night we were sitting getting dinner.
Yeah.
No, so I think we're charging our phones. Everything was flat.
In Waffle House.
We were charging our stuff in Waffle House. We're just looking so dirty, blah, blah, blah. And we're just talking just casually. And there was like a couple in front of us who overhears a conversation. And they just start talking to us. They're super invested. And then before you know, they come up to us again and say, hey, we just paid for your guys' meal. I'm like, what? Like, what?
Crazy, right? They were just like so interested in what we were doing. I think they saw us, like, saw themselves in us a little bit. They were like, like, we want to do like adventures like that.
A lot of people said that. So many people wanted, I want to come. Cody said he wanted to come.
Shout out to Cody.
Zach wants to come do hitchhiking in Australia.
Bro, like we said, Zach, anytime you're here, come through.
Hit us up,
we'll give you the tour.
Yeah.
But 100%. Yeah, I think people just, a lot of the people that picked us up, they were like, they could see themselves in us, and they were just like, this is so cool. I want to be a part of this journey in any way I can. So that was their way of being a part of it. Yeah. You know? Like helping us out, giving us a lift, even if it's just like a 10-minute drive sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes we got one ride from this one dude. He owns a snack food company and he goes snowboarding in
AJ. That's
AJ.
Right.
Shout out to AJ.
Yeah.
AJ Lawson, I think.
And I think his company's called New Foods.
New Foods,
Spelled like NU and then Foods.
Shout out to New Foods. Yeah, he gave us, this dude picks us up. He's like, hey, aren't you guys from, I saw you guys on TikTok. Sorry, we're like butchering the accent. He's like so nice. He picks us up. He's like, saw you guys on TikTok. What? Like he drove past and like double backed and was like, wait a second. I think I've seen them before. And it's crazy how many people were approaching us in the street, bro.
Especially in Denver. So many people noticed us. It was random,
Like what? Yeah.
And like they would always say like, oh, we've seen you guys like doing this hitchhiking thing on TikTok.
There's like
so
4 videos on TikTok and they're like acting like it's some big series.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Damn.
The internet, bro, is just insane how you can, I feel like honestly, you could go to any country in the world and like have a phone, have TikTok and like post a video and like travel through a country just using TikTok in itself.
Facts.
Like it's so crazy. Having the internet as a tool is just insane, bro.
And especially if you have like a personality that people kind of gel with. Like I think the thing that really was cool about your like personality is because like you got like a pretty thick Aussie accent and like you have like this I don't know, like this glow to you, and people just like, yo, like what's going on with this guy? And I don't know, it just kind of helped us kind of traverse.
I feel like you got to be super like, you just have to be confident and outgoing in that, or else no one's going to want to pick you up. If you're like, hey, can I get a ride, mate?
Yeah, that
like,
looks sus. That looks sus.
Bro, you need to be like, yo, hey, what's up, man? Like, we're from Australia. We're trying to hitchhike to New York. They're like, wait, what did you say? Like, you actually need to be able to.
And it kind of pulls people into the story a bit when you're like, you're from Australia, you're hitchhiking in a different country. They're just like, what is going on?
We were thinking, actually, like, if we were to do hitchhiking in Australia or like travel across Australia with no money, blah, 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 would we have the same reaction from people on the trip? Because we're thinking, as an outside in America, they're very hospitable to people. But we're thinking, would Australians be kind to their own kind, you know? Or
it's a good question, honestly. Because there's not like a hostility in Australia, but there's a bit more like, I think Aussies are a little bit more like suspicious in a way.
Yeah, like, I feel like that too.
Yeah, we're kind of just like,
I feel like Americans are a little bit more open. Yeah. Even like so a lot of people came up to us and like, oh, you guys are YouTubers, man. Yeah. They say YouTube. Yeah. But like, they're like very open to like YouTube, like TikTok. Like they're really like, oh, that's so cool.
Because I think that's kind of where that all originated from. Like all that kind of just like vlogging and crazy stuff like that.
Like they thought we were doing was sick, but whereas in Australia, maybe it's something in my head. Like if you were to do it in the city, people would look at you and be like, You know what I mean? Like
people are definitely starting to like they're starting to kind of catch on to it, and like it's starting to be a bit more normalized and stuff.
It's shifting. We're just a very young country.
It's still looked at like, what is this? It's like kind of cringe in a way. It's just that's a shame because it's fun. It's honestly really fun.
That's what I'm trying to say is the internet, bro. Like you can do crazy shit if you just have the internet, a phone, and like just you can make videos on your phone and like can do anything. Can go anywhere. Like,
and well, even saying that, we actually did get a ride through TikTok.
True.
Like we're posting these TikToks right on Jet's account, and then basically
everyone is hitting us up on TikTok. Yo, like you need help. Like someone gave us
we got so many messages. Like seriously, shout out to everyone who messaged because that was so cool.
Yeah.
And didn't we get like a shower coupon?
Someone gave us free coupons for showers in the truck stops. People were like saying, "Yo, crash at my place if you're like around." Yeah. And was that Zach? That's how we met Zach.
Yeah. Right? So Zach basically hit us up and was just like, "Yo, if you're coming through Denver, like I'll give you guys a ride." I'll give you. It didn't even say I'll give you a place to stay.
Yeah, I think he just said I'll give you guys a ride. Yeah,
so tough.
And this guy had like 5 followers on his account.
Yeah,
no videos, and we just
he had like a photo of like a bear as his profile picture. And I was like, what?
Like they'd say don't talk to strangers, but like that's what we were doing the whole time.
Yeah. That was kind of like the whole ethos of this, just like put yourself in the situation and see what happens. Yeah. So yeah,
that was just like I think it's probably my favorite trip I've ever been on.
100%.
For sure,
yeah, craziest thing I've done in my life.
It's just so memorable. I feel like, and I feel like it's cool having it documented, this and also like a little podcast as well. Just because I feel like it would be cool to even hear if I got to hear stories from my parents or like see videos and stuff. You know what I mean?
They didn't have the same opportunity that we had to like document it so easily.
Exactly.
Like they would have had to either write it down or.
True, like technology, cameras back in the day were expensive. Now it's so accessible to go pick up a phone, make one video, pop off.
We had a camera equipment, like pretty decent camera equipment, but you can do this with your phone and like a little microphone. You know what I mean? You can get a long way. It's crazy.
It's crazy. I would like to try traveling like around the world just with TikTok and a phone or something. Like,
honestly, you can
do it just from the kindness of people and people wanting to be involved. And if you're confident, outgoing, like can do anything. Like I said in another video, but yeah.
Yeah. Facts. I don't know. So where are we up to? I guess Denver kind of.
We're talking about Denver, bro. And that was just like, that was very sad there. But we get out of Denver.
Eventually.
And then at this point, we're probably halfway through America.
Yeah.
We've kind of passed the halfway. We're in East St. Louis. Yeah. Which is one of the most dangerous towns in America.
Yeah, it's funny. As we're kind of rolling into East St. Louis, we're looking up a little bit of information about it. And Jet literally just types in East St. Louis into YouTube, and all of these videos are like thumbnails of like crazy like hood
it's like
stuff.
Exploring the most dangerous hood in America.
Yeah, like you know those types of videos like it's just like the most dangerous area in America. We're just like, oh great, like this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when we met Linda.
True.
Linda's
definitely one of the goats.
We got picked up by like 2 Lindas, I think. Lindas are so kind, bro.
Yeah, for sure. So Linda, we're kind of in like this pretty, like when we first got there, it was a kind of a quiet area and it didn't look that dodgy. And then as we were kind of going into town a little bit to get some food, we were in like a bit of like an area where we just stood out. Yeah,
like
we stood out like a sore thumb.
To explain it, we were the only white people in this area for like kilometers, and everyone was looking at us like real.
Like we already look like tourists. We've got these giant backpacks on. We're wearing like hiking gear, pretty much, like
just complete outsiders to the town. Yeah,
sunburnt and shit. And then like people can just tell you're not from there from a mile away, and we're just like okay. And we're getting like a bit of weird looks. Like as we're walking across the road to go to this McDonald's, like this guy slows down the car and he's like asking if we want to like buy crack or something like that.
Oh yeah,
he's like, you guys need, and we're just like, nah, like it's all good, like we must have looked like crackheads or something. Like we look pretty disheveled,
bro.
And then we're like,
we were looking pretty sketchy, like not sketchy. As we got into the trip, we started looking dirty.
Yeah,
we
like
started
our
stinking.
beards full growing out, like there's no showers for like 3 days at a time.
It's funny looking at the first episode to the last one because we're both cleanly shaved. And in the last episode, we've seen it all.
Yeah,
we've been through the trenches. We've got beads, like.
Too good.
Yeah.
So we're kind of like, oh crap, let's just like get into this Macca's and just chill for a bit.
We didn't know what to do. Hey, like, do we stay in this area? Do we stay in the hammock?
And we were kind of planning, like we were looking on Google Maps to see if there's anywhere we could set up these hammocks for the night.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty dodgy area, right? And we're like, oh, like let's just see what we can do, kind of thing. And then this woman kind of just like walks in and she orders some food and sits at the table behind us, and we're still like talking to each other. And then what does she do? Does she kind of go like, we kind of stopped talking for a second.
Was she listening to us?
She was, yeah.
Yeah, well, you definitely would be. You'd be interested if you see us in the town. Like,
yeah. It feels like a town where it's just like a bunch of locals kind of just.
Everyone knows everyone. Yeah, for sure.
Small community kind of thing. And then she's just like, oh, yeah. We kind of stopped talking for a second. And she's like, oh, you guys aren't from here, are you?
Yeah.
And we're just like, how could you tell?
Yeah.
And then she just kind of starts talking to us, and she's just so nice. She just has like the sweetest laugh, and she was just
her
talking
laugh
to us.
is like infectious.
Yeah,
you see it in some of the TikTok videos and in like the episode she's in, but damn, she was so lovely. And she's like, you know what, guys, like probably best if you don't stay here, especially like at night time.
Yeah, we told her we were gonna stay there, and she's like, no.
Yeah,
like, you guys, I'll take you to this. What was the town called?
Where did we go to, bro?
It was like, I can't remember what it was called.
We went to the Walmart.
Yeah, it was like this nice kind of area. It was like a 20-minute drive
Apparently it's
away.
still sketchy though. That's what some comments were saying. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently it's not too much better than East St. Louis. Yeah.
True. Damn. Okay. Well, she took us to this like area which is a bit more like scrubbed up. I feel like. Yeah. And kind of just dropped us out the front of like this like Little Caesars in like this car park in like a Walmart car park. And like along the way, she was like kind of telling us her journey, and basically she's been working at the same newspaper, the East St. Louis Gazette, I think it's called. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, I got it on video.
If I got that wrong, we'll correct it. But something like that. And she's been writing there or working there since she was 13.
Was she 13?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, bro. And I was just like, that is so cool. Like she's really just, and she loves it. Yeah. It's another thing where she's like, she feels like she has to work there. She really enjoys writing these articles of like all the cool things happening in that area and stuff. So it's just like, that was really cool.
And she told us a really, really sad story that she was almost covering.
Yeah.
It was a relevant story. It happened like 3 weeks before like we got to East St. Louis, and pretty much there was this mum whose son got murdered.
Yeah.
And the mum wanted to really find out and like figure out who killed her son.
She was kind of like investigating it.
She was investigating who killed her son, right?
Yeah.
And what happens is 3 weeks ago, before we got there, she goes into like a garage and she just gets murdered.
Yeah.
From a completely separate gun incident. And that's how bad the gun violence is in America. Like, she got murdered trying to figure out who murdered her son.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just like...
It was completely unrelated.
It's unrelated.
It wasn't even someone trying to cover it up. It was just like another statistic, basically. Just like another death. It's like pretty crazy.
So I just can't believe you can get guns in America like that, bro.
Dude, well, it reminds me when we were walking around that Walmart.
Yeah.
That we got dropped off at, and that we went into that aisle, and there was literally just like...
Oh, we went to the gun aisle,
yeah,
bro.
there was literally just like an aisle with like a sniper rifle just like chilling at the front of the aisle. I'm just like, wait, what? You'd never see that in Australia.
How can you get that? It's just, it's really interesting seeing the comparisons between Australia and America.
Yeah.
Because you think they're so similar, but it's really not that.
Yeah, there's a lot of cultural nuances that we just don't pick up on from TV and social media. And when you go there and you're living around it, then you start to really pick up on things like...
I feel like we're pretty American at the end of the trip.
We got used to it and kind of knew how to communicate with people and stuff. Yeah.
Bro, like, and it's weird, like, the whole time in the trip, it's like, I feel like it just has... What was it? Remember that one night... what is it? There's motels, fast food, and there's one other thing in every single town. Like,
yeah, we went through about like 3 towns on this one road. I think it was like the I-8 or something like that.
Yeah.
This one road, like, it just connects like 5 different like small towns, and they all are like carbon copy. And
they all look the same, bro. They all like, wait, did we even leave the town?
Legit, it was like wigging me out at one point because I was like, hang on a second, did we just do a circle and come back to where we were?
I know.
It was they had like 3 gas stations, a big truck stop, and then like a bunch of fast food, and it was the same thing everywhere.
They got so much fast food. There's like Dennys, White Castle. Dennys isn't fast food.
There's no healthy options.
Yeah.
The only healthy option was that Panera bread.
That was so good.
Yeah.
That was really
like,
good, Panera bread.
I was kind of getting like sick, like from all the fast food. Like I literally was like getting sick, like head sick from it. And then we went and we woke up one morning and found this place called Panera Bread, which is like a bit more like...
It's more like a cafe. Imagine like a cafe in Australia.
It's almost like... I don't know. Is there anything in Australia kind of like it? Like maybe
on the highway. On the highway when you go like Newcastle and stuff, there's a green place. I forgot what it's called.
Oh, okay,
I'm feeling really bad here.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, well, it's think of like Starbucks but upmarket.
Yeah.
And not too franchisey.
Yeah.
Like it feels kind of like a normal restaurant. And the food was so healthy and so nice, and the workers there are absolutely lovely people. And they hooked us up with some good food, and then I started to feel like so much better, and I just felt like way more energized.
That was right before we got our best ride to
that was a good day
to New York.
Yeah,
actually that was the day before, right?
It was the day of. You're right.
Yeah, day before.
Was it the day before,
bro? Because we woke up, or was it day of?
It was the day of. Yeah.
No way.
We had that good feeling that set us for life.
No, we didn't even film in there. When I was editing, I didn't even see that footage. I thought it was the day before, but that was a crazy day, bro.
Yeah.
That was a crazy day.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
Pretty wild.
And then, I'm just thinking back on this trip. It's like cool. It's almost like we're just dumping like our experience and like kind of re-going over.
Yeah, we haven't really gone through it like in a perfect linear line. We're just like, oh, this happened and this happened. But that's kind of what you remember from these trips, because like you
remember pieces,
Yeah, and some of them link up with each other, like in terms of like the different personalities you meet. They're kind of similar to some people you met further down the journey, and then it can take you back. I don't know. But
and then, damn, bro, craziest trip ever.
Definitely. Yeah, and then I guess I don't know. Arriving in New York was a pretty satisfying feeling, to be honest.
Bro,
I don't want to get into it too much and like leak it.
I'm just thinking like I don't want to like give too much. We'll just give like a bit of an insight. You know? But all I want to say is if you're nice to people, bro, crazy stuff happens.
100%.
Bro, we've had some of the crazy experiences because we were kind to people and they kind back to us, you know?
That's all you got to do. Like, I think that journey that we went on was a perfect reminder that like, okay, one, being nice to people is the way to live life, because it can, not because it can get you things and get you places. It's just like,
true. We're not being nice because we want to get stuff out of it. It's just like just do it because you'll enjoy it more. Like if we went through that whole trip being assholes and going like, oh, you give us a lift, and then getting upset if they didn't. Yeah. Like it would have been a bit more of a negative kind of experience. We didn't really get mad at anyone. Even like I remember
because we understood like
there's footage of like we're in the gas station and some guy's like, hey, you can't be doing that here. Yeah. And then I was like, what? Doing what? He's like, you know what, man? Yeah. He's like, leave, do it on the other side of the road. And I was like, all good. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
That's all you have to do. You don't have to be like,
you just say, I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, and you don't want to bring that negative attention to, like, if you were to like go off at someone, or not even go off, just like say something rude to them, like a little backhanded comment, then that's how like they call the police because you're trespassing and all this. That's how it just gets a bit murky.
I think staying positive was like the key to our success in that. Definitely. Like we were like, it was so good having a friend to do it with, because if I did that by myself, I feel like my hopes like. You probably would be a lot more.
Honestly, I don't think that's possible. Oh, it's possible, but it's gonna be a test of your true like grit, because you need someone as like a sounding board when you're feeling like
when he was down, I'd like joke around, vice versa, and it feel like we could just bring each other up on the trip, and that was like made it so much. It made it easier. It's not easy.
But you would honestly, they would just get to points where the moment is quite miserable, and it's like so overwhelming that you just laugh it off.
There was so many points where we were like laying on the concrete, bro, in like in the desert,
or even in Salt Lake City. It's like this perfect city, right? It's just like,
don't get me started on Salt Lake.
Think of like the perfect American city. It's just like everything's all the like concrete on the ground is like polished, like everyone's walking prams around, got their shirts tucked in and stuff, and then we're just like these backpackers lying on the concrete just laughing because we're just like la la land there.
I think looking at it not as like a joke, the trip, but like just kind of looking at it like you're having fun. But it's also one thing I did have to be aware of, and I feel like we both know, is like we are in a place of like privilege to be able to do this. Like
100%, yeah.
Not everyone can go and like muck around in America, lay on the ground, and like
100%.
It's some people's realities, and that's what I learned is that this is how some people live. To us, it's a fun adventure. To others, it's daily life. You know.
Definitely. That's a hard-hitting fact about it. Like, we saw people walking around. Actually, we saw a few, like, hitchhikers that were doing this as, like, a life thing. They were from America.
And I joke around, like, oh, there's our competition and stuff. But, like, in reality, like, that's their life, bro.
I have this one vivid, like, picture in my head of when we were going through Utah, going to, like, this desert area where there was, like, a sandstorm on the horizon, right? And there was this like homeless guy hitchhiking.
Bro, I remember that.
And he had this like dog with him. He had his dog with him.
We had a ride. We got a ride, and we were literally in a ride going past someone else.
They're like basically 20 minutes after we got picked up, we're driving along the road, and we just see this homeless guy with his sign, like with his dog, and there's this sandstorm coming behind him, and we're just like, this is like a movie moment. It's just like crazy.
And I also feel like we're almost privileged in a way, like we're younger as well. And we look cleaner, more approachable. Whereas that dude's like an older man with a dog.
He did like, and it's sad because he was probably a normal guy, but he just looked suspicious, like whatever that really means.
But that just shows you how much perception matters into like people in like impressions and stuff. If you smell good, you're clean, people automatically gonna have a different association to as if you're like dirty. Because one night we hadn't showered for like 3 days, and we're wondering why is no one picking us up, man. And then eventually
we actually have a good wash. Oh, because we used the truck stop code.
We used the truck stop code from the guy who gave it to us.
Yeah.
And we have a shower, we clean up, put on fresh clothes. We're like, you know what? We feel so much better now. We walk out the door, and it's like a coincidence, bro. The first person gives us a ride.
Dude, that was crazy. Yeah, the first person that we ask is like this woman, and we're just like, hey. We kind of give her the usual spiel that we give everyone. We didn't even change it up at all. We just looked a bit more presentable. And we're like, oh, like, you know, hey, we're from Australia. We're trying to hitchhike across America. The next town we're trying to get to is, I think, Effingham is where we're trying to go.
Effingham,
Effingham. And then she's like, yeah, sure. Like, she kind of just like was already happy to do it. She's like, but let me just ask my husband. And we're like, oh, really? Like, thank you so much. And he's like, yeah, no worries. And then the husband comes out, and then she just goes, instead of asking him, she just goes, hey, we're taking these guys to Effingham. And he goes, okay.
He's like, okay, sure.
We just went on that little journey.
I love Ludi. He's like a dude. He loves like Pokemon, gaming.
Yeah. He's a funny guy.
Both of them are kind of into like Twitch. I think one of them streams on Twitch.
I think they both do. One of them, Lou just does it as like a casual thing, but I think...
Bro, there's some funny stories about Ludi. I don't know if we want to even talk about them.
Shout out Bubba Chunks.
I don't want to talk about their personal life because there's some funny, freaky stories in there.
Yeah, people in America are interesting. You know, some people are going through a lot. Some people are chilling, but you know, I suppose it's similar to Australia, but it's like magnified there in a way.
I feel like the gap of like wealth and poverty is much bigger there.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Definitely, man.
Yeah, that was just highlight of the whole trip. If you had to have one moment, you think,
whoa,
highlight, one moment you couldn't live without
on the whole trip.
One moment that you think, if it didn't happen, it wouldn't have made the trip, or the trip would be significantly like worse or like not as good.
You know what, man? I can't think of a specific moment, but what I'll say is this. The most simple times on that trip were the best for me. The times where we're literally walking along a highway, getting no luck with these cars. I don't know what it is. It was just peaceful. And like, honestly,
I did not like that.
It was just, for me, it was just like,
this guy's in heaven walking, like waiting 8 hours. I'm just like, can we get a ride already? Like,
I don't know what it is. It's just something about it. Just like, I think the thing that I liked it was exciting because you don't know who's going to come.
It's like a mystery box, bro. You don't know what you're getting, man.
And so it's like, you could get the most crazy people, or you could just get like a normal ass guy. Like,
that's the funny thing. Hey, you never have an image in your head of what the person's going to look like who's going to pick you up. Like, we had everyone from people our age, people younger than us, Jaren. We had older couples.
We had people in like their late 80s.
We had people from different races.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not about what they look like or what their background was. It's got nothing to do that. All it is just their personality,
their
like
character.
Yeah. And that was what was so cool. Like, we literally got to interact with everyone.
We had a perfect cross sample. Is that what you call it?
I think cross section.
I remember doing some like science thing. Do like, I don't know, take cross section.
Yeah.
We had the perfect cross section of America with everyone we got. Like
100%.
I feel like we got pretty much every demographic on that trip. Also, for some reason, a lot of one demographic that really helped us out on the trip was like middle-aged women.
Yeah,
you think so? Like,
that was interesting. I think it was like that motherly instinct kicking in.
I think that's what it is.
Like,
they see two young. One girl even said, "Oh, see two young handsome boys. Like, it's dangerous out there."
Yeah. No, that definitely. I even brought that up when I got back. I told my mom about that, and she's like, "It's 100% like, because they're probably, if they're not mothers, they just have that instinct inside them to like just look after us." And I'm like, damn, that's kind of true. Yeah,
it's crazy. But then again, we also had like Dragonfly, which was just a dude, his dad.
Yeah,
like,
I think he just saw us and he was just like, "This is cool.
Yeah,
I'll give these guys a help." Yeah. Didn't even know where we were from. That's the thing. He's in this giant truck. We couldn't be like, "Hey, we're from Australia." Like, he just was like, "Yeah, I'll give these guys a hand." He thought we were from South Africa, didn't he?
Yeah, he's like, South Africa or Australia? And I was like, Australia, man.
He got pretty close.
Yeah. But like it's funny experimenting with almost the approach that I took to the trip was be playful with it, like with experimenting how you approach people and stuff, and like so the whole thing was almost like a play or like just testing out different methods and stuff, because 1 minute I'd be using the cardboard sign, then we'd think, wait, this isn't working, and then someone gave us a tip like, hey, you kind of look homeless with the sign, so it kind of gave us an idea like, wait a second, the sign kind of is associated with like homelessness and begging, so we're like, let's change up the method.
Yeah, sometimes you wouldn't even have the sign.
Yeah, we actually threw away the sign at one point and we just approached people like, hey man, and then you look like just normal person, you know?
Yeah. I think like you were saying before, like the camera was a really good draw card, because it's like you don't it takes the homeless, or like not the homeless question out of the picture, but it's like it takes the like I don't know, it's kind of like a layer of dodginess off it.
Yeah, it just like, makes you seem more like not sketchy.
Yeah. Like almost like these kids could do this as like a uni assignment kind of thing.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We definitely do have the age on our side, which I think is something to be very like grateful for.
Yeah, and also like the color of our skin. It sounds crazy, but I don't know. Like it obviously you can do it. Whatever you look like, you can do this.
David Cho did it.
Yeah.
He's Asian.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he actually said he was one of the big inspiration behind this.
Yeah. Like
he said that because he was Asian, he said something along the lines, I don't want to butcher it, but like people weren't afraid of him, you know what I mean? And like people weren't afraid to pick him up.
That's interesting, yeah.
But like,
I mean, like you can do it whatever you look like, right? I'm not trying to take that away, but it definitely made it a little bit easier, I think. Yeah. Because there is a lot of like racism and shit over there.
Yeah, it's the racism in America is crazy, bro.
Yeah, it's like on a different kind of level. So I think that was also a big help. But yeah.
But I think honestly, the confidence and the personalities carried us throughout the trip.
100%, yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, it was just so funny how many times we switched up the like approach. Like
I feel like that's the key. Just have fun with it. Like be quick, like be like witty. Like if one method doesn't work, let's try something else. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, there's no point sticking to the same thing because you don't even know what's gonna work. Really.
Sometimes, bro, our last ride, it was the worst approach ever, and we end up getting it. Like that's the thing.
And that was the best ride as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you don't even know. Honestly, I think with this, my takeaway was like it's a numbers game for everything. Yeah. The more like times you try, eventually someone's gonna pick you up or something's gonna happen for you. I was talking to Jaron, the door knocker, about it, and was saying like, bro, the more doors you knock on, the more people who might buy something from you, you know?
Damn, that's such a good takeaway actually. Yeah, because it's funny because he's just saying that from his perspective at work, but that's like almost like an analogy for life.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the more doors you knock on, the more chances you're gonna get.
Exactly. That's like so just knock on some doors, bro. Yeah. Like, and I feel like that's what this trip has been like. Knocking on America's door, you know, and like even that, bro, like knocking on America's door gave us like this platform almost. Like a lot of people are like invested now, like just from putting yourself out there, you know.
And it's funny, like I've been telling people a lot of these stories, but like I feel
like the visuals will do it.
The visuals, it'll speak for itself, honestly. Like I've been telling so many people about it, and they're just like, I really want to see this, because like. And it's almost just from me telling them they're already like invested in the story and they want to do it themselves. So like seeing it and seeing that it's possible is going to be like a whole nother layer. And I think that'll be really cool for like, you know, just getting people more inspired to just like take life by the balls and go do shit.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah. I feel like you just got to go do cool shit, fun shit. Like, and one thing that like, obviously didn't stop us from going because we went, but like is the fear thing. Yeah. And that's what I wanted to touch on, is like so many people are afraid nowadays, and like after COVID, the world changed forever. And I feel like everyone nowadays is at home. It's kind of scary to go talk to people. Everyone, like even you see, I was talking to my girlfriend the other day about dating apps. People are too afraid to approach people in real life. They have to use phones to talk, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like you can just like look at a selection of people and just go, yes, no, no.
Like people are afraid to actually talk to people in real life, like and approach randomly because the fear of rejection. And I feel like that's the thing that taught us so much, is like how to get rejected and be like,
it is what it is.
Like, well, you know
that's
what I mean?
Thing. I feel like coming back to Australia, like it just, I feel like I just have a different kind of outlook on things. Like it's crazy how much you just spend 2 weeks doing that and it'll really just like form new ways of thinking. It's crazy. Like, just like, approaching people and like even just talking to random strangers. Like every time I go into a store now, when I'm leaving, I'm like, thank you so much. Have like a fantastic day kind of thing. Like just talking to people and making them feel like they're heard or
like listen
seen.
To someone. Like even if you just talk to one person, like
Yeah.
I feel like because it's sometimes in your head, like you want to say something or do something, but then something holds you back and doesn't do it. One example from the trip, we're at breakfast one morning. Remember at the hotel, at the motel thing, in somewhere. We're in this motel.
Oh yeah,
breakfast.
St. George. Yeah,
It was breakfast, and in my head I was like, you know what? What if I just stood up and just said to everyone, because it's like a full breakfast thing. Everyone's eating like breakfast. There's all these old people, mostly old people. I think they're all doing like the holidaying kind of, you know, when they retire, they do the big cross country trips.
Yeah.
But there's all these people, and in my head I was like, what if I just stand up and just say, hey, is anyone going to Denver? Is that where we're going to?
Yeah.
Hey, is anyone going to Denver? And I was like, if I do that, don't do it. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. I stand up and I say, hey.
Yeah, it was so spontaneous. I was kind of just sitting like, what's this guy about to do? And then you just kind of like stood up and you were like, what did you even say?
I was like, hey, we're from Australia. We're hitchhiking from LA to New York. We're just wondering if anyone's going to Denver. And you know what happened? You know what happened after that? Everyone in that breakfast place started talking with each other. Yeah. We started connection for people, you know, like a lot of people before that were eating breakfast.
Yeah, everyone it was so quiet in there. And like, that's when I was like, when you started talking, I was like, oh, Jet, don't disturb the peace. But then it actually made people more excited. And then everyone's kind of just started talking to each other about the places they've been to and all that.
Bro, and it became this whole communal thing. Like, someone's like, oh, I just got back from, I've been to Australia. I'm from the UK. Like, I go there, I've been there. And like people want that connection and like to connect with other people. Yeah. But like,
and then that even led to us getting a lift out of there.
Yeah, that's how we got it
one of the groups at one of the tables were like, because we started that conversation, they got all excited. They were like, you know what, we'll take you guys. So it was just so cool. Like, yeah, anything's possible. Like if you just give it a shot.
I agree with like it's altered my like mindset so much. It's given me so much confidence with doing anything now. I feel like with videos, with like making art or whatever, like just more like numbers. Put the numbers on the board. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And it just gives you that confidence. Like, bro, like who cares, man? Like, it's
life
not that
is
serious.
It showed me how short life is and how big the world is. There's so much to explore out there, and if you have the means to do it, you're very, very lucky.
Bro, but
and
you
so
also don't need the means to do it.
Yeah.
Like, you can make it work with little budget. And
that's true. That's true, honestly.
Like, that's what a lot of people like, I don't have enough money to go do that. Like, there's always excuses, bro. There's always another excuse to make. But, like, you can do it. There's always a way.
For sure. And
always a way.
And I had no clue how this documentary was going to turn out. Yeah. Honestly, I was just there filming. And I think that's the best way to go into it. Yeah. Just like, don't really like have a plan. Like our plan was like to get
expectations
from LA to New York and film it. That was basically the plan.
That was the rough plan. Yeah.
And it just turned out to be like one of the coolest things ever. Yeah.
Bro, and so memorable.
Yeah. It's so cool to be a part of it. Thank you, my G.
Yeah, no, it's all good. We got to do more shit. Like,
yeah, definitely.
I'm ready to go crazy. Yeah. Like, this
like
is
even
a warm up
across Australia, bro.
We were talking the other day.
Shit crazy.
I don't want to like confirm it because when I say I'm gonna do something, I do it. Have to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a very like stick to my word.
But it's on the cards potentially.
We were thinking about maybe trying to cross Australia, Perth to Sydney or something like that.
If it's doable, we have to look into it a bit more.
Anything's doable.
There you go. Keep knocking on those doors, eh?
But I just feel like I want to go crazy now, like in a good way, like put out more work. My output's been crazy now, and I feel like it's just, I'm excited for these episodes to roll out and then to move on to the next project too, you know, and then we can work on whatever ideas we come up with and
for sure. Who knows what's going to come about?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Anything is possible.
And the thing is, even if nothing comes about from it, it's like, bro, we just walked away with a crazy experience, you know?
Like that's the main thing for me. Like, I feel like when we're both like 80 years old or whatever, it's something that we can look back on and just be like, whoa.
Because right now in the present, I feel like I don't really take it for like exactly what it is. I'm just like, oh yeah, just hitchhike from LA to New York.
Yeah, even when we're over there, it was kind of hard to stay present because you're like, oh, we need to get a ride. And it's like,
always thinking about the next destination. Yeah.
But like, it's so good that we got it on camera because that's how you relive it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how you kind of get that presence back because you're like, oh, like we got all this. Like, like that's the whole point. You can watch it back.
I'm keen to like go on my YouTube channel like 50 years from now and like look at videos 50 years ago. Like, whoa.
That's a crazy thought. That's a real crazy thought.
Yeah.
Damn.
I wonder if the servers will still be up. Probably.
Yeah. Probably. I mean, we'll probably have it on a hard drive somewhere as well.
Yeah.
So, pretty wild.
Yeah, definitely a trip of a lifetime.
What was your highlight from it?
I feel like my highlight was probably, honestly, on our last ride to New York, bro, I just had this like thing of bliss in my ear. You know what song I put in? Just the classic. I had my headphones in, and I put in just the Empire State of Mind song, bro. And I was listening to that song and just visualizing like walking into like Times Square, bro. Like, bro, in my head, like that's the vision. And then like I got there and it like felt so satisfying to have a vision in your head and like see it come to fruition. Dude, like
that was actually it was actually mind blowing. It didn't feel real. Like, you know, when we were on the train and we saw the like city from the distance. Yeah. And I was just like, remember we kind of like had this moment where we weren't really saying anything. We were just looking at this golden skyline. Like, it was like 6 a.m. in the morning. We're just like, wow, like we did it. Yeah. And then we got to like Newark Station and someone recognized us.
Bro, one of the train conductors knew us. We're like,
yeah, he's like, I saw you guys on TikTok. I love what you guys are doing.
That's crazy how like the reach of social media nowadays, like tools are so accessible now. Yeah. It's crazy.
And on top of that, like when we got to New York, like the actual New York City, where was it? Times Square. And like we come out of the subway into like these crazy lights and just like all this.
Like the whole time we're just in the underground subway. Like we haven't seen the city officially yet. And we're just like walking through all these stairs, blah, blah, blah. And like we literally walk up right into like near Times Square, and it just was so surreal.
I feel like that did not feel real. Yeah, because it was a weird time because it was like 7 a.m. in the morning,
really early.
So there was like hardly any people in Times Square, which is like the busiest place on earth. And we're just like, huh?
Yeah, but we went back though, and then also on like our last flight, bro, we were so dumb. We like were rushing the whole trip, and we get to New York, right? And then we think our flight's like
we're like
this afternoon.
We're like, damn, we've only got like 3 days in New York. Like we got to like do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, and then like on our last day in New York, we're like, oh, what did we do on our last day? Is that the Chuck E. Cheese day? Or no?
Was it?
Maybe we just left in the morning.
Oh no, it was the Chuck E. Cheese day. Oh no, I think it was the next day. Was our last day? Yeah.
Yeah, but we went to Chuck E. Cheese and we were playing there around. But that was fun.
That was cool footage.
But what was I saying? Yeah, so on the last day, right, our flight's scheduled for that night. We leave it to the last minute. We're like running through Times Square. We didn't really pay attention to the time. We thought we were gonna make it, and we're like rushing to the airport. Like, damn, we might miss our flight.
Didn't we have like 45 minutes left or something?
We had 45 minutes till our flight was about to take off, and then we get to the counter, and then they're like, it's too early to check in, and I'm like, wait, what? Our flight's in 45 minutes.
Yeah, and he's like, no, this is scheduled for 4:45 tomorrow.
Yeah, and we're like,
I'm just like, bro, what? That's crazy.
Damn. And then we're just sitting in the airport for ages. Yeah. Then we just went to, where did we go?
I think we just like went to some weird area and got like a super cheap hotel, like quite close to the airport. And then went and watched Spider-Man at some dodgy cinema.
That was fun. I like that. Yo, I love the food. What's it called? Garden House?
Oh, a Garden House, is it?
Garden House? I don't know.
It's something like that, hey.
Garden.
No, Applebee's.
Apples.
Yeah. No, Applebee's is cool. It's like kind of a sports bar.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like pub food, like Australian food.
Yeah.
It was really nice. It was kind of refreshing.
I would recommend Applebee's for like a healthy. I think I got a Caesar salad.
Yeah, that looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, it was because it's American. What was like your favorite fast food? I think we got the same.
Arby's, hands down.
Bro, one day in Arby's.
So good,
bro.
So good. Yeah,
we became lifetime members of Arby's in one day, pretty much.
For real. We were stuck at this one gas station for like the whole day. Like, I'm talking 12 hours. And we ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner at this one Arby's. And it was really good. I don't even regret it.
Bro, we were there all day sitting and we're like, oh, we'll get some breakfast. Then we're like trying to get rides all day. Oh, maybe it's lunchtime. Should we just get something to eat real quick? And then we're like, yeah, okay. And we're still there. And we're like, oh, we should probably get dinner now. Hey, we literally got the same. I got the same thing every time.
Yeah, I think I got 2 of the same meals and then I got the one that you got. I like tried. I was like, I'll try something different now. Oh, shit.
Bro,
but yeah, that was pretty chronic.
Yeah, I love Arby's. In-N-Out and Arby's probably up there. KFC's not as good as Australia, I don't think.
I'm not even like a big fast food person.
You gotta be in America.
Like, I didn't even eat fast food for a year before I went to America. Yeah, that was my first time in like a year eating fast food, and the Macca's was really good. The McDonald's, the Arby's was good. KFC was so bad though. The chicken was like dry. Yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't the vibe.
Bro, now all these memories are coming back of like other things that aren't even in the episodes, like waiting in KFC for like meals, how dirty the shop was. Like,
and then also people not having staff at their stores.
Oh,
like
true.
It was weird. I noticed that many times. Like there's not a lot of people.
Everywhere's understaffed.
Yeah,
bro.
not a lot of kids really. Like in Australia, so many kids work at fast food places.
Yeah.
But like older people work at KFC. Like people, there was like the manager was like 50, 60
It
years
was
old.
weird because in Australia, McDonald's and stuff, you look at that as if it's like a just like a
casual job.
Casual job for like a 14-year-old. There's all like teenagers working there.
Yeah.
Not even teenagers. And then in America, it's their whole livelihood. You see, not that it's like a bad thing. It's got to make their bread how they got to do it.
100%.
But like we're seeing like full adults and like older people. I'm like, damn, like what? This is like a very foreign thing to see.
Yeah.
But then like you were saying, well, so many places were understaffed. Like you had the waiting time in KFC was so long because
was there
like
for,
2
like,
employees.
20, like nearly 30 minutes waiting for the food.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what is going on?
Yeah, there's weird stuff going on there right now. Hey?
Yeah, like you're so used to in Australia, just like if you order something, it's just going to come like that because so many kids and stuff are like working. It's interesting.
It's two different places, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And it's so easy to forget that because everything we look at online is like American.
Yeah.
Or like Americanized.
Yeah.
And like, when you get there, you really realize there's a cultural shift that's just like a cultural rift, I should say, like super different. Yeah. But there's also a lot of similarities too.
Yeah.
Like everywhere in the world, probably.
We do get along. I feel like Australians, like if you ever want to travel, what I've heard from my friends who've been overseas, Australians get treated so well. Like we have such a good rapport with other countries and stuff.
It's because we can banter.
Yeah,
we can just like get into anyone's shoes. We're like, yeah, we can understand this.
Yeah,
like,
I think that's something Australians have, which is like so good. Yeah. Damn.
But yeah. Crazy times. I'm excited for this video to drop.
The video will be dropping, if you're watching this right now, it's either in the future or it's about to drop in probably a week or a few days from now. It's dropping on September 1st, episode 1.
Number 1.
And there's going to be an episode every week for 8 weeks straight.
8 episodes in total.
I enjoyed putting it together because I kind of like the idea of putting together a big bunch of content and rolling it out like consistently for people to kind of tune into weekly.
Yeah,
so
it would be it's so much in one thing to sit through. So it's kind of nice pacing it out like that instead of having to just like be hit with all this like crazy information.
Yeah. So I kind of want to draw it out a little bit too. So like leave people hanging for more, you know?
Yeah.
Which that's where I'm excited for.
There's also so much excess footage that's not going to make the cut. So maybe there could be some snippets that we put out. I don't know. Yeah. That's something else to think about.
Yeah, you could always like put extra content behind like a paywall. Just like upload. I've seen some people upload like clips to Google Drive things and they tell everyone to go clip it and stuff. You know, like they just give away all their raw footage. They take it for free.
That's cool. Yeah, because that's kind of like free advertising in a sense.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to like share their content and stuff. Like, oh no, like don't post that. But I feel like it's all like good.
Yeah, especially when you're kind of just starting out, you want as much coverage. Yeah.
It's actually funny you say that because I did the complete opposite thing. Like Lad Bible hit me up and a couple other companies like, can we share some of the hitchhiking stuff? And I was like, no. I don't want you to like own it and stuff. Because I did a deal with Fortify when I was younger, like I was telling you. And what they do is they take all like the rights from you and stuff, and they make money off your stuff. And like
these big companies are sometimes moving mad like that. Yeah,
that's why I'm really obsessed with going independent and doing all this stuff and like kind of designed all this merchandise to go with the thing and trying to really fully self-fund this thing and build something up.
That's the thing, bro. This documentary, I can't stress this enough. It's a proof of concept. So if there's any companies out there that are wanting to like back some kids who are really gonna do it. We can prove that by showing you this documentary. Like,
do anything, bro.
We can do.
We got ideas. We were talking privately about some next things we want to do. I don't want to say them because, like, like I said, I'm very cautious about what I say. Because I got to do it if I say it. Yeah. But like, bro, we got ideas, and we're not gonna stop. Yeah.
No doubt.
Damn.
Believe in it.
Yeah. What do you reckon? That's a wrap. How long have we been on for? Pretty much like an hour and a half. Think.
Yeah, I'd say so. Oh, probably coming up to like an hour and 10.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice. Any closing thoughts you reckon?
Closing thoughts? I mean, honestly, I feel like I've said a lot. I can't even really...
I didn't even know what I said, bro.
Yeah, I can't really even remember. But honestly, like, just watch the space because like there's a lot of cool shit happening.
Do you want to talk about some of the stuff you're working on? Like
yeah, for sure.
Now, yeah.
So... Obviously, I basically full time. I'm doing like videography and graphic design and stuff. And lately, I've been kind of wanting to take that in a direction where I can kind of I don't know, almost pursue my own like outlet. And what I'm going to try and achieve is like, I've got like this kind of concept called a reference piece. And basically what it is, it's going to be like almost like a creative reference point for people to see what's happening in Sydney. And the way I'm going to kind of like platform that is through making this magazine. Basically it's going to be like a very light zine, just like going to kind of be a local thing, showing a bunch of artists in Sydney, maybe some international artists I get in contact with on like the internet or whatever. And yeah, basically it's just showing like what the youth are doing in like an interesting way. It's going to be interviewing a bunch of musicians, artists like Jet, like photographers, videographers.
I'm keen to see it because I feel like Sydney in itself, like
it's so untapped.
It needs more people to be trying to do stuff, and I really hope that this documentary and like video series and everything that comes out of here shows people like, bro, wait a second, I can do that. You know, like 100%. Wait a second, I can try make a video. Wait a second, I can try like make TikTok videos. Like, I want to see people make magazines. Like,
because I feel like
it needs to be documented.
Like I was telling you the other day, ever since. And you've kind of heard this as well. Like ever since I started doing this kind of creative work in Australia, I've always heard people say like, "Oh, like no one's really doing things in Australia. Like it's all overseas. It's all overseas." And I'm like,
everyone's always complaining.
Yeah, like
bro.
we have to be the ones to pioneer that. Like we should stop complaining about it. Like I understand it does suck, but we should stop complaining and figure out ways that we can kind of push it and make it like this big platform where creatives can be seen. Like it doesn't have to be Hollywood all the time. You know, it can be like local, global.
Bro, one thing was very inspiring for me. Last night I watched the Talk to Me movie by
I want to see that.
The RackaRacka boys.
Yeah, and shout out to those guys. They're
some
so cool.
Australian like creators. They started off in their backyard making funny videos, and I'm sure you were making videos in your backyard when you were young. I was.
No doubt.
And to see them progress from YouTube into the cinema world and sign a deal with A24, like it just shows we need more people to like show like you can do it. Even like with Leroy coming out, she's showing musicians they don't have to rap about like, you know, there's like so much new stuff coming out.
It's true, yeah. Like
and
even
people need to break the barriers to show other people, wait, I can do that. Then they level up.
There was definitely that point. Like even I'm just thinking as an example with Leroy, there was a point where like I feel like the people were kind of looking after him were kind of trying to like keep it like Australian vibes, like, oh, he's an Australian artist.
Yeah.
But then there's a point where he kind of broke out of that and took his own artistic direction. And look at that, like you can just do crazy things.
Exactly, bro.
If you just believe in your own style and talents, you can go a long way.
Yeah, like I feel like everything, it's not Australian. It's like because everything is all interconnected now. Like I said, you can post a TikTok video and like someone in like whatever country in Germany can see it. Someone in Africa, like it's global. Everything's going globalized, I feel like, and we're all connected through the internet now. And I feel like
for sure,
so much opportunity to create. And I just want to see more people.
Yeah, the borders are getting smaller and smaller, and the opportunities are getting bigger and bigger if you should take them. So if you believe in yourself and you really want to, like, you're a creative person and you want to like do some really cool stuff. Assemble your Avengers team and just like go for it.
I think that's such a good thing is like building a team, because a lot of the time I've been like so solo and like it's at some point you need to actually build a team around you and like have friends who are doing it.
For sure, because that kind of eggs you on to keep going.
Exactly, bro. It's the same as when we're on the trip, we had each other there, but it's same applies to anywhere. If you're like a creative and you're the only person going at it every day, it feels lonely. Yeah. But if I know he's working on his magazine, I'm working on my video games.
Yeah, bro. Every time, like, this is my first time in this studio space here. I walked in and it just gave me a different type of motivation.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just like, this is crazy.
Bro, and it's like
just seeing little things like notes everywhere and just like these inspirational photos of people that I'm guessing you look up to, right?
Yeah, definitely,
like, and the art that you're producing in here, it's just like, it's just giving me like that extra boost of like, whoa, like Jet's doing it.
Bro, like, you know, it's funny because I wanted to get this studio after I went to my friend's studio in New York, Alex's place.
Go.
I was like, damn, bro, like this.
Yo,
I walked
Alex's place, shout out to Alex.
Alex,
dude,
Alex,
dude.
So we crashed at one of our friends' places. He's an artist. He lives in Brooklyn. He lives in a giant studio apartment. Has these artworks everywhere.
It's like this. Think about this, but just long, like
way bigger.
Another like, I don't know, 10 meters that way.
Yeah. And like so going there, that was just like to see one of my friends kind of come up on Twitter, because I met him through Twitter in like NFT space, and that to see him come up and like have his own place now, like it just shows you, bro, you can do it, you know. And I think people need to see that more.
No doubt. Yeah, it's exciting. I'm honestly so excited about the future of just like Australian creativity. There's a lot of even just like the amount of movies that are being made here now, and like that's
weird.
something that I want to get into, like movies in the future.
Yeah, I feel like future thing, like I definitely want to get into film a lot. I got a lot of ideas I want to put out, but right now I feel like just honing in on my skills and put out like lots of like kind of short stuff on YouTube or yeah, you know what I mean, like kind of work through and learn stuff.
For sure.
And even putting together this whole edit and documentary, that was a whole learning experience in itself, like doing such a long form thing.
Yeah. This is like documentary is definitely something that I want to get into as well. Like, because I think the reason I like it it's because I'm a storyteller, I guess. And documentary, it's real, like it's reality. But the way you edit it and the people you interview, it is about building a story too.
I also think a lot of people nowadays are searching for authenticity and they want to see that real thing. Everyone's fed up with the Marvel movies, like
for real.
People want authenticity, right? And that's why things on TikTok, I even noticed a trend that like videos that look like they've been made on like iPhones, like they resonate because it feels real, feels like they can connect with that and it's not something out of their reach. Yeah,
it's the whole thing of just people seeing themselves in what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you can bridge that gap, it's gonna really resonate. Like
like
it's gonna go the distance.
Mr. Beast, he said he uses purposefully like entry level cameras because it has that look, that like consumer level look, you know? Where it's like, oh, I can make a video like that and kind of build a career off that, you know?
Yeah, instead of shot on like he can afford the cinema cameras, you know?
But then it's also cool to see people pivot to the cinema stuff, like the RackaRacka guys, because it like you can do any direction.
And that's the perfect example of authenticity outweighing like the fakes, or not fake stuff, but you know, all that kind of plasticky feels. Because like I actually went and watched a lot of their older videos after we were talking about it, and like they were just making like these random like fight scenes shot on these like early 2000s digital cameras, and they're just like throwing each other onto like mattresses and stuff, and like when they're like these two Greek brothers or something like that, and they've just always been making films, and to see them like flip that and bring A24 on board as a way to like distribute it.
It's crazy for Australia, and they're young too, so it's like damn, wait, if you make something, it has potential to like kind of make waves, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
That was also the scariest movie I've ever seen, ever, bro.
Actually?
Yeah.
Damn, I'm not good with horror movies, bro.
Bro, it was like it also is like kind of touches on what we're talking about, like yearning for connection and stuff, because a lot of the film, it's kind of centered around these people playing with this inanimate object that's haunted, like the hand. Yeah. Because they're trying to almost connect with this like spirit and feel something, right? But then it's like kind of ironic in the sense that as they try to do that, everyone's all filming on their phones, disconnected. They're not in the present, in the moment. You know what I mean? So it's interesting because you just got to go watch it. I don't really want to talk too much about that, but it's definitely...
I'm so keen to see it. It looks dope.
1/4's in the movie.
What?
I heard the soundtrack, and that made me feel like, damn, this feels like it's my movie, because I'm hearing like local people, like Leroy's in it.
That is so dope.
Yeah.
Damn. See, that's what's up. Like, when you get that, I feel like a lot of people in Australia, they don't want to see themselves in films because like they feel like it's a little bit like abrasive. They're like, oh, it's a bit cringe. Like, Australians are embarrassed a little bit. They're like, oh, I don't want to, like, you know. But it's like, embrace it. Embrace it. Like, we are different, and that's what makes us unique and cool.
Facts.
Like, that's why there's so many stories to be told. Like, even I just want to go to rural towns and just interview people and stuff, because like I have conceptions about them. I'm probably just thinking there's a bunch of bogans out there, but they're probably like really interesting people with like unique stories to tell.
For one thing, it's such a weird thing to think about is like you walk down the street and there's like people, right, bro? And it's like they have a story. Everyone has a story, and you sometimes get wrapped up in your own world so much, like you forget there's like other people out there like living in their head, worrying, being joyful. Like there's a whole like millions of people like living. It's
and no one's problems are like more or less of a impact on their life than yours. You know what I mean?
I think it's pain and all that. It's all relative to you. Exactly. You know, like what you go through is no different 100%. To the millionaire who loses all his whatever, or another guy who's. It's all relative, and I feel like
we're all just on our own path and journey, and it's cool when people like Jet and I cross paths, and then we just do this, and it's like, whoa.
Exactly, and who knows what we'll do in the future too. Yeah, like, we got ideas you want to work on. Like we might have to go trek across Australia.
That would be so sick.
Yeah.
And like it's funny because we kind of know what to do now. We know it to like, because we didn't really like, we had an idea of what we wanted. We saw a few like reference videos and stuff of like cool hitchhiking videos, but we hadn't really seen people do it in our way.
Yeah.
And so now we kind of know what you want to do.
Because they'd say like, do it like this, do it like that. There's a lot of forms and stuff, but I feel like we have our own way to do it, and I feel like that's the way to do anything is in your own way.
Yeah, even just down to the filming of it. Like now we know what to record and like how to record and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're a beast, bro, on the camera. Like I would just like. I'd be like looking around and he's already recording every moment. So that's why we got 500 gigs of footage. Bro,
there's so much. It was like, I think it filled up one of my hard drives. I had to get another one or something like that. Yeah.
SD's full.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Every night we had to dump the footage. It was insane, bro.
Yeah.
Like I said, it just gets me so excited for like life, bro. To go live, man. And like, I have to talk to so many people who want to try stuff, bro. Like everyone I know wants to make content or try to do something.
Yeah.
But everyone
it's just about doing
that,
it.
Like,
yeah. And it's also fear. Like, it's just like worrying about what people are going to think of you and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, you got to remember, like, dude, you're here for like a finite amount of time. Why waste time worrying about what people are going to think?
Yeah.
That'll come with it, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's definitely something I've had to like deal with, but you become almost desensitized to it, like the comments and stuff. And like, I feel like it's just part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt, bro. No doubt.
Yeah.
Have fun, y'all.
Yeah. I think that's a wrap on that.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good first podcast.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about it. I'm keen to see what people think. Yeah. Let us know what you think in the comments below. I don't know how to end this kind of thing.
Yeah, I think we just cut it. But yeah, thanks for listening. If you listen all the way through, probably chuck it up on Spotify, have it on YouTube as well. SoundCloud, everything.
Yeah.
I want to talk to more creatives and stuff too.
Yeah, this is such a cool space for it, bro. Should get people in here, like...
I want to
get like a photo wall. Imagine you take a Polaroid of everyone and put it like on a wall.
Bro, I got a Polaroid camera here, right there. But I actually should take a photo of you and put it up. Oh shit! How can we do a photo or something?
Does that film in it?
Yeah.
That's dope. Maybe we'll take it against like a wall later or something.
Yeah.
That's so cool though.
Lighting's pretty bad on that.
Make like a podcast wall.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Yeah. It's
Ideas,
cool.
Fam.
It's cool documenting stuff, you know. And this is a space I'm in right now. Who knows where I'll be 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Like, who knows? But yeah,
keep just trying new things, see where it goes.
Thank you
very much. We out.
See ya.
I polite 'cause it's nice to be nice. I put money in my pocket, now they hate on